I think at least if you want to censor hate stuff, I can kind of get that hate speech and shit. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're censoring thumbs down, I want to know if people don't like it, like
Yeah,
the
right.
Ghostbusters and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Was Sonic? I think Sonic during that time had the thumbs down too, maybe. But I
Is
know,
before they got rid of the count.
yeah, because it was making waves.
Like, if they're getting rid of the count, why even have the fucking thumbs down button?
Yeah,
It feels like pointless.
I don't know. So you can have control to feel like you
Control,
have.
yeah,
I
but
don't like this. Click. You know?
it does nothing. It's like as far as censoring, remember when you were doing that joke on Facebook about hitting me with your car?
Oh my god, yeah, dude. I just made a joke about it was an office joke because Michael Scott hit Meredith with the car, I believe. And I think
Um,
or was
no,
it a
it was
different hit?
lost. It was lost.
Oh, it was lost. I made a reference that Desmond, brother,
Hmm.
he went around trying to kill people to wake them up. So I told I gotta wake you up, Miguel, by hitting you with my car.
Yeah, yeah.
And Facebook registered as like I was threatening him,
Violence.
and
You're
I got
threatening violence.
I got a warning.
Silence is violence.
Yeah. Hey, Black Shirt Crew, what's going on?
What's up?
You jamming to some music? What's going on? You ready?
Not, dude. I'm getting on the latest TikTok trend.
You getting hyped? What's the latest TikTok trend?
Dude, have you heard about this
What, the
fucking
NPC?
the NPC shit?
I was gonna show
ice
you.
cream's so good.
I have a video queued up. You want to watch
Popcorn.
it?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
I don't even know if this is the same one that you saw.
Ice cream's so good.
I saw one like, ooh, the roses. Ooh,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, dude.
it's like I don't know. This is like prostitution. Like, hey, do this for
Basically,
me,
yeah, and they're
and
getting
I'll pay
paid.
you
Yeah.
because this turns me on. I
Yeah,
guess.
it's the new it's like um PG-13 cam girls basically.
Yeah. Was it just like on your YouTube or something that you saw?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Just,
Oh, you got a guy talking about it?
I got a guy. Oh, like yeah. Would you rather just have a clip?
I had a couple clips queued up,
All
and
right,
then maybe we can have the guy talk about it.
sure. I mean, he's basically just saying like, I can't believe this is like this is how we've become
Yeah, I mean,
basically, and
we can say that shit.
yeah, it's cool. But it's funny. That's the only context I saw it in. But you were actually seeing compilations of people.
No, I think I was seeing somebody talking about it. Or no, I feel like yeah, maybe I was seeing somebody talk about it, but I kinda
And
ignored it at
you looked it
first.
up.
But then I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
So what do you think the psychology is of this? Like, I mean, it's money psychology, right? Like, oh,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
they're
for the
obviously
person making it,
yeah,
but
they're doing it for the money, obviously.
well, the guy was talking about how it got started, and it started from one girl,
Yeah,
and
and on,
she was making a
Twitch,
lot of
like a
money just from doing that, and then people are just jumping on the bandwagon.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
TikTok. What the fuck?
TikTok, dog.
I
TikTok.
feel like I feel like it makes me deter not to use it more
Well,
and
yeah,
more
it's
every
just
time I see shit like this.
like this stuff and
It's like
like
simple-minded, stupid shit.
well, apparently it also like glorifies like mental illnesses, like depression
Mm,
and then anxiety and ADHD and all that shit. It's like
glorify. It's like it's
yeah,
okay to be like this, or don't
yeah,
seek
it's
help.
like this is my struggle right here. This is what I do and just like I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange
I mean, I
platform.
get that we all like if we're feeling that way, we want to see other people like.
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
anyone
yeah.
else relate to this? But like you said, glorifying rather than helping or
Mhm.
something. Like a YouTube video is long. Let's talk about why I feel this way for 10 minutes rather than 60 seconds. Let me tell you. And like it's so quick. I don't
Yeah,
know.
with smash cuts and like, the captions and I don't know.
It's like toddler. It's like a toddler app, right? Like some kind of like the way like it's so quick, like the way you get information
Yeah,
and
yeah. It basically, remember Vine?
Yeah, it's like Vine, right?
It's like Vine, basically. But now
Right.
they're getting into some other stuff.
Who would have saw this coming? And I was just maybe people like the NPC, and I was making fun of it like in the videos,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't think people were actually gonna do it on a live stream and pretend to be.
Ice cream so good. Gang gang. This
Oh
chick.
my
I think this is
god,
the
is this
chick
what
that's
is this?
she's the
Yeah,
one
that's
making
the
all
one.
the money.
Gang gang. Flowers for me. Beautiful. Yes, strong woman. That was
And like her
coconut.
family's in the background and
Gang
shit.
gang. Hee-haw, yes. You
This
gotta
is
feel like
weird.
a cowgirl. You ready? Hee-haw, yes. You gotta feel like a cowgirl.
Yeah,
You
she's
ready?
got like 34,000
Gang
people
gang.
watching her.
Gang gang. Gang 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 gang
And
gang.
I don't know if you noticed, like
Ice cream
she
so
has that
good.
flat iron.
McKenny.
She's
Yeah,
like popping popcorn kernels one at a time.
right. Dude, she's like
Like
a
that.
fucking circus monkey.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yes, yes, yes.
Wait,
Yes.
so
We gotta
what is
feel
she
like
looking at?
cowgirl. You ready,
I
To
think
like,
she's looking at
Yes, we're going to Africa.
you see on the top there
Balloon.
where
oh,
there's
how
like
many times you have to say it?
Yes, 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 yes,
Is
yes,
this
yes.
times
Ice cream
12?
so good. Yes, yes, yes,
well, I
yes,
think
yes,
they have
yes.
catchphrases
Oh,
because you
take it,
see
baby.
like
I love you.
the
Slay,
GG and that cake
gang,
and
gang,
shit.
gang, gang.
That's how
Choo,
people are
choo,
paying
yes.
them.
Gang, gang.
What is
Flowers
she
for me.
saying?
Beautiful.
Gang gang?
Yes,
Gang
strong
gang.
woman.
What's a gang gang?
That was
That's
coconut.
what kids are saying these days.
That's a kid
Gang
thing.
gang.
Yes, you gotta feel like a
And it just
cowgirl.
goes on.
Hee-haw,
I think for
yes.
hours
Does it
she's
for
on this
hours,
shit.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But why do
Gang, gang.
people?
Hey,
Gang, gang.
I think
Gang, 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 gang. Ooh. Ice cream
Can you
so
imagine
good.
seeing your mom do this
McKenny.
8
yeah, her
hours
kid's
a
in the
day
background, right?
to like make
Kelly,
money?
oh, so cute.
Like,
Thank you, Cynthia.
there's no
Yes, yes,
point of
yes.
stripping these days if
Hee-haw,
you can make
yes.
more
You gotta
money
feel
doing
like a
this.
cowgirl. Let me write it.
Yeah, they're saying she's
Choo-choo,
making like
yes.
$7
We're
grand a
going to
day doing this.
Africa. Balloon.
Well, it's diminishing returns, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes,
Because
yes.
this is the new trend,
Ice cream so good.
but then she'll have to jump on
Yes, 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 yes,
this
yes,
new.
yes.
Wait.
Oh,
All right,
take
I've
it,
seen
baby. I
enough.
love you. Slay. Gang, gang.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I want to see that elf chick too.
Elf?
This one.
Oh my goodness. You know what
This
you're doing,
TikTok
lady.
streamer just broke character to
Huh?
yell at her son, but then just
What's that?
No, I'm just like, you know what you're doing, lady.
You know what you're doing. Oh yes, yes, yes. Gang gang.
How do the guys do?
I don't think they do as well. But there's guys doing it too. Well, actually,
Is
actually,
this like
there's
you jumping up and down like, like you're riding a dick, right? That's what she's trying to do, right?
I
To
don't
get
know. I
the
thought it
fans.
was supposed to be like remember the NPC, this whole NPC thing. But the
Yeah.
stupid thing is like they're doing things prompted, so they're not NPCs.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
weird, dude.
Okay. Well, yeah, there is actually a guy. There is a guy that does it. Well, that did it, but he's a popular, I guess, Twitch streamer.
Hmm.
And actually, just this past weekend, he got into some shenanigans in New York for hosting a giveaway,
Mhm.
and it was a giveaway at Union Square. He was going to give away like PlayStation 5s and Apple
He didn't
products
do
and
it?
shit. Well, like a whole fucking mob of people showed up,
Uh-oh.
and it just got
Cause
out of hand. It
oh,
got out of
because he had
hand.
too much people.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Dang.
then, yeah, it was like basically a riot. So then he got arrested for inciting a riot.
Wow. Even though that
Yeah.
wasn't his that wasn't his
Intention, but he told everybody to get there. Let me see.
I could see Mark Rubier getting arrested because he brings such a crowd to his performance on a random New York street
Oh
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
it causes like a riot. I don't know. You'd have to like be really messed up to cause a riot at a Mark Rubier because I don't think he creates riot energy.
Kai
One thing
Sanat is the guy's name. There you go.
One thing I'm just noticing is wherever the money flows, people will go. Whether it's being an NPC or even getting free PlayStations. They'll go over to get
Yeah.
free
Well, yeah, like
PlayStations,
a
dude.
whole mob of people showed up because it was like, I'm gonna give you PlayStations. And then it was like thousands of people
Oh
showed
my
up.
goodness.
And then they started like just jumping on cars, destroying things, taking over hot dog carts.
Oh no. They have
Here,
footage of it?
yeah, I got it queued up here. And then maybe we can watch his
What is
NPC
happening to this
thing.
world?
Let's see.
Feels like there's a buildup. Oh my goodness. Union Square. They're trying to get a PlayStation from that thing? No. Or is that just a bus?
I think it was just a bus.
The fuck, you little kids?
Yeah, what the
Dude,
fuck,
you
right?
fucking... Dude, gorilla little kids together? That's dangerous. Dude, this is how it was in San Leandro? Those biker kids with the little bicycles? That's how it felt.
So it was for this guy, Kai Sanat.
Dude. If
Why
you
don't we
can
watch- Why don't we watch his NPC while we're
if
at
you
it?
can
since we're
pull-
doing the
if you can
NPC
pull the
thing?
young generation, they're so like gullible and easy to grab. Like, hey, come on, kids. Come here. Boop. Peter Piper style, you know?
Ooh, play by Ray, give me roses. Smell good. Jury day, thanks for the roses. Smell good. Cowboy, ride me like a cowboy. Ride me like a cowboy.
So fast.
Smell good. Ooh, heart. I love it. Thank you for the
Dude, you
roses.
look like you're just having sex.
You
don't even look like an
Ride me
NPC. You're just like,
ride me like a cowboy. Hat, don't want the cap. Roses. Smell good. You're making me smell good. You're making me smell good. Give me the heart. Ooh, play by Ray, give me roses. Smell good. Jury day, thanks for the
okay. Let's see if Miguel's what was ooh.
Ice cream,
Ooh,
so
a rose.
good.
Mm,
Pop in the
mm,
fucking shit.
ooh, coffee. Ooh,
Mm.
coffee.
Oh,
Ooh, coffee.
Water. Ice cream,
Oh.
so good.
Ooh. I
Glug,
love
glug, glug,
pickles.
glug, glug.
Ooh, I love
Glug, glug,
pickles.
glug, glug, glug.
I love pickles.
Glug, 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 glug.
If he had a pickle, ooh, I love pickles. And putting it next to your face. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just this is getting, I don't know, this internet thing. You think it would get extreme enough, but it's like we're kind of like it feels kind of degrading as humans. Like we're kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting stupider
Yeah.
or something.
It's like when you thought like Instagram was as bad as it could get, and then like
Attention span wise, right?
yeah, and then this is where you end up.
Yeah.
Thousands of people watching somebody bounce around saying random little catchphrases.
Mm. I'm sure they're. I was thinking like, what would be a weird next TikTok trend? And I was thinking like, maybe it'd be like breastfeeding or something, like getting your kid involved and getting people to tip you.
Would that
You know what I
vi-
mean?
Would
Or
that
is that-
violate
Does
TikTok?
that violate something?
I don't know.
Because you have
I
a
don't-
kid.
Well, because
Because
all these
wasn't there videos about like you can have certain videos on Instagram and stuff if it's educational or some shit, like showing nipples if it's educational kind of thing. People are getting like, I think it was fuck, I forgot what the topic was, but you could actually look it up, and I feel like it had something to do with breasts, like milking breasts or something. But
yeah, I could see
perfectly
that.
fine to show that on.
I could
on
see that
Instagram,
because I
because-
remember like these moms would do like cleaning videos, but they're like wearing revealing outfits, and they just basically show themselves cleaning, but like their pants is all ridden up, or they're wearing
Mm.
low cut tops and shit.
Not that I watched it. It's just like, I saw it randomly.
Well, yeah, I saw it from a YouTuber talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just
How
kidding.
else would I even find out about that shit? Mothers cleaning houses and revealing
That's
outfits.
my thing now.
It's such a random fucking thing. But if you think about it, it's probably out there.
Yeah,
Anything like you said, the breastfeeding thing, it's probably out there.
yeah.
Somebody thought about it.
I feel like this. You get people's attention at TikTok doing like risque things, and
Mhm.
then you lead them to your OnlyFans where they can pay premium to
Oh,
see
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the goods.
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
the
then
same thing on Instagram.
you
Yeah.
can buy a 6-bedroom house later on in the future, because making money with your body that you have for right now, all right?
Well, actually, apparently the most OnlyFans people don't really make that much money on OnlyFans.
Not anymore. Like it changed.
No, there was like it's like anything else. There's like the top 1% that makes money, but most people on there aren't making fucking money.
Oh, so you get the high people to entice people to join, and then you
Basically.
realize, fuck, I'm making pennies on the dollar.
Well,
over
yeah,
here.
just like this NPC thing. That one chick is making
Show my
$7,000 a
feet. I've
day.
been showing my feet for days, and I got $10. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I feel like a prostitute over here.
Yeah, and you are a prostitute, basically.
Do you think brothels back in the day was not like something people look down on? It's like, oh yeah, that's your job. Just like how TikTokers do shit like this.
No, I think they still
Maybe the
look down on
Christian.
them. Yeah, remember like in Westworld how they had the brothel?
Yeah,
Yeah, they would like they're sex objects, right? They use them as sex
right.
objects. So I think they were looked down on.
That's the number one NPC fantasy right there, Westworld.
Yeah.
I'm sure all these guys are like, ooh, I want to watch some Westworld now. Yeah. But watch out, they're gonna get their revenge. Slit your throat while you're putting it in their thing, You horny fuck. Get out of here.
Oh man.
Speaking of horny fucks, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was a little
Mr.
tired. Oh, Mr. What? What are you gonna say?
Mr. Horny fuck. Horny.
Cheers, horny fuck.
Cheers. You were a little tired?
No, just off day in jiu-jitsu. Just like, man, why is my tank not working today? And I think it's probably we spent the whole day out yesterday, and I don't know. Just maybe it's just being exhausted, moving too much or something.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, what'd you do yesterday?
Oh, I watched Barbie.
Oh, how was it?
It's what
Was
you
it-
think it
Was
would
it
have been.
everything you've heard it to be?
To be honest, I didn't even
Hear
pay
anything about
attention
it?
of the hearing. I didn't pay attention to what people are saying. Just whispers of what people are mentioning. Like
Okay.
my dad's like, "Oh, I can see why people got up
Mad
in
about it?
arms or something." So, what did you hear about up in arms about?
Well, it's funny. Okay, so the very first thing that I saw about it was that it wasn't LGBTQ enough,
It wasn't. I was
Yeah.
actually like,
which is like it's Barbie. I mean, was there lesbian or gay Barbies?
no, it's just a part of
So
not-
that was the first thing I heard.
Oh, yeah, there was no lesbian Barbies. But when you say LGBT now, I immediately go to like trans, which is weird, right?
Well, and there was a trans Barbie, right?
Yeah, but I didn't even notice. I think my niece noticed, and she's like, "See, people don't even notice." It's like, well, I don't even care. I don't even care if people, it's not.
People don't even notice. Steph's parents said it too. They were like, "Oh, there's a trans Barbie," and they said they couldn't tell either. What else did I hear? That it is like super feminist.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
Dude, okay. I'm just gonna give you a little plot. Hey, you kind of know where the movie goes, right?
Yeah, I
Where
mean,
she's a Barbie girl in the Barbie world,
mhm,
but
mhm.
then she this is kind of like Brady Bunch where they're stuck in their world, but then you go out in the real world and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, who are you? So right when they start rollerblading down Venice Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's wearing really dark clothes, like
So opposite of Barbie
desaturated,
Land.
and she's like fucking neon yellow green
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And first of all, like people are like, oh, look at them. I'm like, okay. I don't think people in the real world would do that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they would just do it in quiet, right? Like I'm not gonna bring attention that I'm making for this. And then people are staring, and then I hear, "Oh yeah, nice ass!" Like, like people, like, "Oh, I want a piece of that!" Like, what the fuck is going? Do people really do that? And then
I don't know. I've never seen it in my life.
and then she's like, "Oh, let's ask these helpful construction workers where to go." And then she goes up to them, "Hey, mama, I want a piece of that shit." Like, what the fuck? And someone grabbed Barbie's ass. I'm like, what the? This is so hyper, like,
Yeah. Like,
you know, fuck
yeah,
man.
I got you. I got you.
Which I knew going in that would probably be.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, what else controversies?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. And then like the whole thing, like Ken being attracted to how men run the real
That
world.
was actually kind of funny because like he came out and he's like, he just saw like, oh man, because he's in this Barbie world where he's the bitch to Barbie the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his main objective is just to look at Barbie and like, she's my girl kind of thing. And then he goes into real world like, oh shit, like people respect me here because like I'm a man. And like he goes to the library and he looks up like different manly books and stuff. And then he's like, man, I didn't know any of this exists. The patriarch. Oh my god, how come I didn't know about this?
The patriarchy.
Are you gonna watch it? I don't know if I want to tell you.
Yeah, eventually when
Yeah,
it's
we'll keep
streaming.
it
Like
there.
Steph wants to see it. So we'll watch it eventually.
But I mean it was funny in parts, yeah. Some of the scenes were like over the top, but
Mm-hmm.
like there was a Ken fight kind of thing. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, with the Shang-Chi and him.
Yeah.
They kind of have this rivalry that they have. Let's see. I mean, besides those, it was a decent movie, but it's just riddled with like men, and
Yeah.
of course they make the men look weak. Like with every movie that comes out now, every man is like, you know, a
Man
weakling
hating.
man.
Man hating.
It's just like, wow, here comes another one. Like it's just,
Yeah.
there's no surprise there, right?
Men.
And yeah, they show any gay Kens, but they showed like gay people in the real world, which
Mm-hmm.
of course there's gay people, so it makes sense showing
Yeah.
gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Not bringing too much attention to it. So yeah, it's funny that it's not gay enough for Barbie kind of thing.
Yeah, that was like the very first thing that I saw. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you think after a while people would get tired of hearing that type of shit?
Oh, there was one thing that I heard about. They were like shaming the pregnant Barbie or something, or like
No,
ostracizing
because
her.
she was what's it called? That was an actual Barbie that they made back in the day,
Okay,
and they're making fun of like Mattel, like actually like making
but
a
it
pregnant Barbie.
wasn't popular or something.
Yeah, and it's also like encouraging teen girls to
Kids.
get pregnant. And
Pregnant Barbie, what
um,
are you doing here?
she's like holding her belly. Hey Barbie. Oh hey. Oh, we don't talk to her. Like and they did kind of like make it seem like she's that weirdo over there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who's that Scott Pilgrim guy? He's in there, and he plays like a
Mm-hmm.
guy named Alan, which I guess was an actual doll that no
Yeah.
one gives a shit about. So what do you think? No one gives a shit about him in that movie.
So they had all like the deep cut Barbies.
If you're into the Barbie world, everything makes sense. They even had a Barbie. You lift her arm up and her boobs get bigger. And
What?
there was an actual Barbie where you lift the arm and it goes whoop, like
And
teaching
was
girls
that an
about
actual Barbie?
yeah. It was a enhanced Barbie breasts.
Oh man. All right.
I guess it's like trying to show this is what happens when you get older. Your boobs get bigger. Ooh. I don't know.
Okay, Barbie.
But I think the general theme is like um let's say, not relying on a man, of course. You don't have to rely on this Ken guy for
Mhm.
love, and not having to be a career woman or kind of thing. They did a little bit of that.
Not having to be a career woman.
No, like being okay with like being regular. I think that's what they were trying to
What do you
touch
mean
on.
regular?
Because all the Barbie, like she could be an astronaut, she can be this, like every
Oh, okay.
profession. So it was kind of
Okay.
like, hey, like it's okay to just be a regular lady. I think that's what they're trying to push.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the worst message.
Which, yeah, that's not a bad message.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's okay being a regular lady.
yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
it
So
did
that's
have like
probably
don't rely on men attitude for sure. And stereotypes of
Ken,
like
don't rely on Barbie either.
yeah. And when he learns about the patriarch, he doesn't rely on he's like,
Fuck you,
grab me a
Barbie.
beer, like kind of shit. Yeah. It's kind of
Oh.
funny. Yeah, Ryan Gosling did okay as Ken.
Yeah.
What you expect from Ryan. Yeah. And Margot played a decent Barbie. There were some plot holes where I was trying to understand the world
Mm-hmm.
and how it ran, like because sometimes they would just float and go into the car as if someone grabbed them.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this connected to the real world? Is someone in the real world controlling her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where the thoughts that Barbie's having is actually from the owner.
Mm-hmm.
But uh when I just like, so who's controlling who in this Barbie world? Is only one person controlling all these? Like it's her world, or are these all the kids like playing? Like I don't know who's playing with all the dolls. Basically,
And they never got into that
no, I kind of went away from that. But
Hmm.
you know,
plot holes.
movies have them.
Yeah.
Only like people that like, huh? But if that's the case, then why? No, I'm just like that. Average people aren't gonna think like that, right? Just like, oh, that's a good movie. On to the
Yeah.
next movie. You want to watch
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion?
Let's go.
Sure.
Let's go watch Oppenheimer.
to watch both of them, like
That'd be a lot.
such a change of tone too.
People did it though, right? During
Sure
when
they
it
did.
first came out. That'd be
Yeah.
kind of a lot, I think.
Is Oppenheimer doing okay on the box office?
Yeah, I think
But-
so.
I know Barbie
think-
just got like, over $1 billion or some shit like that recently.
I haven't been keeping up, but I know at least on the opening weekend it did pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. But yeah. I think you'll have you'll have laughs. I laughed a good amount of times, but there were times where I'm like, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was another controversy with it that I didn't even know was like a controversy. Have you ever heard of this like 9-line thing?
9-line. What is that?
So it's this, I guess it's this map from China, the People's Republic of China, where they lay claim to like a big chunk of the South China Sea.
So that's
So-
where Barbie Land lies?
Well, like,
China territory?
well, yeah, because they had a map on Barbie. I guess there was a scene where they
Yeah, they
she had
show
a
a map of the real world and
and
where
there was
Barbie-
like a dash line next to Asia. So
a
yeah.
dash. So people
Yeah.
got in arms because of the dash.
well, yeah. So then the movie was banned in Vietnam, I think.
Hmm.
And
Because of
apparently
a
other
dash?
well, yeah, because it's like saying that you agree with China on their stance of them laying claim to part of the South China Sea, which goes
Mm.
against, the usual territory is you own what, like 25 miles offshore or something like that, where you just own bordering around your country.
Okay.
And
Is it blocked in China too? The movie?
no, because that supports China's view of what they say is their territory.
I see.
So they do it like Hollywood movies do it to grant them access to the
China.
Chinese market.
China.
Because Uncharted did it as well. Some other
Oh,
movie,
when they showed a map,
yeah,
they
shows the
showed a
dash line.
dash.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
interesting.
it's basically showing that, hey, we agree with China on their. It's nothing new. Hollywood, wanting that Chinese market, so
Yeah.
they would do something like that, just like the NBA saying that they support China or NBA players. It's nothing new.
Mm.
It's just
So
Hollywood.
I wonder how other countries will take it. Like where if you have a like a man dominated country and then all the women are watching, I don't need you. Like all the women for every country is like starts divorcing their men's or something. Like that'd
I
be
feel
so
like what are the only man-dominated countries? It's all fucking the Islamic countries in the Middle
right.
East.
And it wouldn't even be shown there,
I
huh?
don't think they're
I
gonna see
don't think
them.
it would, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna pass their censors.
It's like, the four wives and one of the wives watching like, what the fuck? I don't need to give him anything. No, I didn't make him food. Yeah.
Not if
Because
you.
ideas are interesting, man. How if you can say it a certain way and people just pick up on it and it can just
Well, that's
change the
that's
world.
like the whole thing, like changing definitions of things.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you saw Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about XXXY chromosomes.
What is he doing? What is XX? What is he changing definitions? What's going on? You guys
I
show
got
me?
a clip for you, my friend.
Good.
Like Neil's at it again. Oh, Neil, when is it gonna end?
My goodness.
Our boy Neil.
I just remember how much I used to love listening to him talk. And all of a sudden, one of his podcasts with Joe, I was like, dude, this guy is annoying me now. What the
He's
hell?
changed. He's changed.
The XXXY chromosomes are insufficient because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice. Either the one you're assigned, the one you choose to be, whatever it is. I think I read that the United States was a land where we have the pursuit of happiness.
What's that to do with the
Suppose no
science?
matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female,
What
20%
the fuck,
male.
Neil?
I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt. Why do you care? What
Dude, the
business
country is
it of
divided.
yours to require that I fulfill your inability to think of gender on a spectrum? The XXXY
I just watched that Bill Maher thing. That was really good. Made me
Oh,
chuckle a lot.
the pride thing.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like, spot on, dude.
Yeah, and that was from a year ago. He was
I know,
talking
and
about this
it's
shit.
I don't know why I didn't see it till now, but it was good.
I feel like I might have seen it, and I can't remember whether I showed it on the podcast before. But it's true.
I
It's
don't
like
think you would have. I feel like the message made me like laugh in a way. If I heard it a year ago, I think I would have laughed and remembered it. Like,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, so Neil
No,
deGrasse
dude,
Tyson.
what the hell, dude?
Well, see, like,
And
oh,
can you, if you put a dislike, does it even show dislikes? Because in this world, we can't even show if we dislike shit anymore, right?
that's a good point. Do shorts show dislikes?
Because I feel like
I know the regular videos don't.
if you're not showing that people don't like this,
No,
there's
it
no
doesn't show.
feedback, dude. There's no
It doesn't
feedback
show the
on knowing.
yeah. Doesn't show dislike count.
It's like positivity virus where you only see the positive, you never hear the negative. The comments, they probably are filtered where if you talk shit, like they probably don't show it, and they show you the
I
things that,
know. I know Facebook filters comments, but at least they tell you they're filtering comments.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
well, see, like the whole thing is like with this whole gender thing is
yeah.
that they separated sex and gender. So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so like you have your sex,
Yeah.
which you are born male or
Mhm.
female,
But
and then you
gender
had
is fluid.
your gender. You can pick your gender. Okay, all right. But now he's like trying to say that sex doesn't mean anything.
Because X and Y's. He's using the X. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. I just watched a video recently. I mean, I didn't know anything about this company, PragerU.
Mm.
I know you probably know them. Um, they had a video called Unwoke Inc. Did you get to watch that?
No, I haven't.
Because it was like, oh shit, like the winds of change are happening where it's like, oh, we don't, it feels like there's a movement that's happening,
Well, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's finally tipping where we're no longer you and me like thinking, is anyone else seeing this? Because
No, we're
now
not.
it's like so extreme where there's actually people like trying to do something about it. And
Well, yeah, and like so full disclosure, PragerU is like more conservative leaning, and like traditionally it's been like these conservative people talking about unwoke, but now even like liberal people. I mean, like Joe's been
it's
talking about
it seems like
anti-woke shit for a long
conservative
time.
is more like neutral these days. Like it's a
Well,
neutral
it's because
position.
because the thing is like conservative people's values haven't changed, but like liberal has gone like so beyond what it was 20 years ago that people that were liberal like Bill Maher's a liberal guy,
Yeah, even
and
he's saying
he's
something.
saying stuff against like where the far liberals are going because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. I don't have problem with trans people, but like the big issue of the day now is like trying to push kids that identify as trans into taking puberty blockers and getting surgeries and shit, and like dude,
Yeah, at a
you
young
can't take
age.
yeah
And Bill Maher made it a good point, like, hey, like as a kid, you jump from different things that you're interested all the time.
yeah
I want to be
you're
an
interested
astronaut one day.
you're
I want to be
interested
a firefighter.
yeah
And it's like if you take these things and they mess up, you can't get an orgasm anymore, and it messes up your bone structure,
your
weaker bone,
fertility, you won't be able to
fertility.
yeah.
And it's just like because this is, trending. And he was talking about the trending because like seems like there's an uptick in like Los Angeles where every parent has a trans kid, but you go to Ohio, no one's like I'm assuming less people are trans there.
Yeah.
And is this a regional thing or is this like, it's true, it's a trending thing, right?
Well, yeah, there's like lots of discussions on whether is this like the parents pushing it on the kids because they wanna
Keep up with the Jones, stay with
yeah, like, oh,
make sure,
little
hey, look,
little Billy
social
isn't Billy anymore. It's Sandy
Tilly.
now.
Oh, I was gonna say Tilly. Tilly. Oh, Tilly.
Ugh. Yeah, I
But
mean, like, so yeah, it feels like there is a movement of people like speaking out against
yeah.
all these
Yeah.
extreme.
They had a good presentation. This Unwoke Inc.
All right, let's see this.
You got some good editor or good cameraman going
Oh
on.
yeah, they got a good production
Yeah.
over there.
Made me want to go to Nashville. Like, hey, what you doing over there? You have some kind of you're trying to make a new Hollywood up in Nashville. I want to be a part of that. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you'll accept who I am.
The first time I heard woke, I thought it was something positive, that you were awake to what was happening and that you were fighting the white male capitalist who had the whole world set up for himself. And you were going to be the activist who brought the whole system.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of her videos on YouTube.
You saw it?
My name is
Well, I haven't seen any of it, but
I live in LA
see
and I
it.
work for PragerU.
yeah,
At
I've
this
seen it
point
on
in
my
the
recommended.
2020s, woke is everywhere. On billboards, in entertainment, in sports, on our clothes, in our schools, and in our businesses. And I kept wondering, how did this happen? We all feel it. And
Feel
the
it,
feeling
Miguel.
isn't a good one.
Feel it.
It's true.
As someone who was once on the far left, I worry that wokeism is ripping our country apart. At PragerU, we have a slogan: don't just complain, do something.
Do something
So
about it.
I began asking questions.
Do
Where did
something.
wokeism come from? Is woke here to stay? And are there alternatives to wokeism? So began what would become a journey across the United States to try to find those answers. And perhaps, in finding those answers, we'll find a way to end wokeism once and for all.
Janice
that
never knew of
person-
that lady.
Huh?
She never knew of that lady.
That screaming anti-Trump
I had-
lady.
I had to show her the video.
It's like you see it everywhere.
She's the face of
With
woke.
Wix, you can edit
right?
your meta tags page by
yeah.
So much of the talk around woke seems to be just that, talk. At the end of the day, nothing will change if those of us who disagree with wokeism don't take action ourselves. But to understand what can be done
Remember,
about
we were
it,
scared to
we need
speak
to
up.
understand the world
before-
in which it
Oh,
originated.
should I?
Now we're
My
on.
first
We're,
stop
we're on the
was to
train.
talk to the man who literally wrote the book on woke. Here we are in Columbus, Ohio. The first questions: what is wokeism, and where did it come from?
The origin, part
Hi,
1.
Vivek.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Meet Vivek
Oh,
Ramaswamy. He recently founded Strive Asset Management, an investment management firm that's challenging industry titans like BlackRock
I don't know if
and
you know
Vanguard.
he's
doing
running
it the
for
old-fashioned
president.
way, focusing
Oh.
his investment decisions
Cool.
on excellence over politics.
He's I
But
think he's like
before
third
Strive,
in the
he founded a
Republican side.
multi-billion-dollar biotech
Nice.
company called Roivant Sciences. They were literally working to cure cancer. Until, at the height of Black Lives Matter, his board and employees demanded Vivek speak out in full support of the organization and the movement. And he couldn't do it with a clear conscience.
But I stepped down as
So he left the company that he created. Because of this experience, Vivek wrote a book you might have heard of called Woke Inc.
The opposite of this YouTube is unwoke.
But I think it's a commentary on like
Called Woke Inc. I think a lot of people are going to hear that and go, "What's woke?"
Corporations.
So, Vivek,
Yeah.
what's woke?
Yeah, wokeness refers to being alert to invisible injustices perpetuated against disempowered classes of people, generally defined on genetically inherited characteristics like race, gender, and sexual orientation. Basically, it borrows from the tropes of Marxism, which was this oppressor-oppressed narrative. But wokeism was not just Marxism, it was the merger of Marxism with identity politics. The idea that you are nothing more and nothing less than the genetic stock that you inherit on the day you're born. So that's what you sort of refer to as the trend of modern wokeness.
Okay.
Now, this is a fringe philosophy. I mean, this was a theory from the halls of academia, and it was a challenge to the system. It was an interesting set of ideas. Does it mean it was all coherent? No, not necessarily. But it was interesting. It was provocative. It was a different way of looking at human relations. It was an interesting worldview in some classroom at some liberal arts university somewhere.
Mhm.
But wokeness at some point moved from being about being a challenge to the system to becoming the system. So to really understand the origin story of wokeism, you have to understand
colleges.
academia first. That's where it was born. It was born as an infant there. Became an adolescent.
Jordan
somewhere else.
Peterson
Let's start
knows.
with the infancy.
Yeah.
Eric
That's right.
Weinstein knows.
yeah, they do.
Or
At the
Brett.
end of the day,
One of
the
them.
rise of wokeism wasn't
They
an
were at
overnight
the
phenomenon.
front lines
It's
of it.
actually been in the works for years. So, like many bad ideas, wokeism started in academia. But why? And why didn't it stay in the ivory tower? How did this cancer infect every other area of society? I needed to talk to somebody who understood academia and from a long-term, multifaceted perspective. And so I traveled to Washington, D.C. to talk to a visionary who did something many people consider to be impossible. He founded a new college that now rivals the Ivy League. This is Michael Ferris. He started Patrick Henry College, a classical liberal arts college just outside of Washington, D.C. In only 20 years of the college's existence, Patrick Henry graduates have become leaders in the highest halls of power, including Congress, Hollywood, and the White House. And this sort of cultural impact was by design. Ferris has been fighting wokeism before it was even called wokeism. And more importantly, he's been winning.
And I dare anyone to read my legal analysis.
Through Patrick Henry College, Mike is taking the battle against woke to the
Gangsta.
source by educating
Yeah.
new generations of students in a rigorous, truth-focused education. Where do you think wokeness started? What's your theory there?
Where I was seeing it mostly was in the schools of education. They were teaching there is no truth, but what they meant is we're going to undermine the objective truth that you believe in and pretend that all truth is relative.
It's
And we're gonna
relative,
follow
man.
that up eventually with our
My
truth.
truth, her
And
truth,
that
his
idea
truth.
is now we're going to jam our
Not the
in your
truth.
throat and you better kneel.
It's time for me to get set up for therapy. I use this room as my
Better
office.
help.
But the
And
desk
talk
is over
about my
here. And
feelings.
so when I see
You raise a generation that's told at the university that nobody can disagree with you. You take that attitude at campus, you
Yeah,
think
I
that's
mean,
the way the whole world should be like, and that's
protesting
what you do.
against
That's the way you're trained.
speakers.
And you will not be a friend of truth. You will not be a friend of freedom. You're going to be a friend of repressing anybody who doesn't follow the party line.
Repress.
The tyranny that's in place today believes that the heart, soul, and mind of man belongs to government. And that mantra has been taken up by big corporations and social media giants and so on. And that totalitarian impulse is the opposite of liberty or progressivism or anything, any of the traditional meanings of those terms. Our country was a liberal democracy. We're fast becoming a totalitarian, bureaucratic.
Look at all those white
country,
people. That's what
not
they're
a
thinking,
democracy,
right?
not a republic.
Well, yeah, like
We need to walk, we need to
I saw
march, we need
something where
to
the only thing like kids know about George Washington is that he owned slaves.
Like that's being taught or something, or is that all being discussed? Right?
Yeah,
Like he's not even the first president. Oh, he
Yeah.
owned slaves. Yeah.
he's a slave owner.
Transgender rights are one of the most important civil rights movements of our lifetime.
We can enact change in this country.
Part 2: The fight.
So you teach a generation that truth is subjective and ever evolving. You brainwash them to accept no alternative viewpoints. It's the woke way or no way. And then you release them into every industry of our society. Perhaps the most pernicious infiltration? The indoctrination tool for the masses. Entertainment.
Oh shit!
For
Hollywood,
years,
man.
Every Americans have complained about woke Hollywood. But we're not here to complain.
Oh,
We wanna
Nashville.
create alternatives. So
I'm gonna
I
move
decided
there.
to talk to a creating an
You're already in
alternative
Texas.
to most
Hey, I can move
other
again.
industries.
That is not.
Oh yeah, I've seen her videos too.
Wait, that's not the man we're talking about. That is. Meet
Gangsta.
Jeremy Boring. Jeremy is the co-founder of a media and entertainment company called The Daily Wire. They push buttons. They tell the truth.
this-
and
where
they're
Ben
working
Shapiro is.
every day to create
Yeah,
both
right?
news and
Yeah.
entertainment that is free from liberal bias.
In many ways, big media has become just a propaganda arm of the left. And Daily Wire wanted to correct that.
Welcome back to the comments.
We've produced written articles, news articles. We've produced
is a woman?
podcasts. We're the fifth largest
But
podcast.
I do notice like Daily Wire and
Daily
PragerU now
Wire,
they
we
have
just
like
made it
their
into something we're calling
younger
Daily
Gen
Wire Plus.
Z
And it's
They have
people.
Oh,
Yeah, they have
because you have to have younger people speaking to younger people.
yeah,
they're not
because
gonna listen to
before
older
it was just Ben Shapiro and
Yeah,
for PragerU was man, who's the guy that founded PragerU? Some old Jewish guy. I can't remember his
And the
name.
fact that they have this girl, it's like, oh, like she's from LA, she's a black girl, and she doesn't even agree with what's going on with the book. When this is her, like she can like reel it in, right? Hey, I
Mhm.
have the color, I'm a female, and I live in LA. I can
Well,
be a
just-
star.
Yeah. Just
These
like
days.
I think Daily Wire signed Candace Owens. So same kind of thing. Like they're getting younger people onto as a part of their organization, which shows. I feel like it would show younger people that hey, it's okay if
not
you
just
don't agree.
an older generation thought.
Yeah. It's okay if you agree with like a little more conservative values and going against like. I mean, 20 years ago, it wasn't
Yeah.
like this.
Note to the audience, I never thought of myself as a conservative before leaving Hawaii, right? And I even lived in California, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, cool, like,
Yeah, because like 10
all of
years
a
ago.
sudden, like, I don't know, is it when COVID hit and I started talking to you? They were like, what's going on with the system here, Miguel? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I feel like COVID was like the catalyst for a lot of these to like look at all these things happening and be like, what is happening?
Yeah. I mean, early signs was like Ghostbusters, the female, and I
Yeah, and
didn't
you're
really
just
think
kind of
about
like,
it at that time.
but the fact that it flopped, you would think that that'd be like enough for Hollywood to
Sign.
be like, hey, maybe. But what they did was they turned it against on the fans. Like Star Wars, all they do is like say
They
that the
turn it if
fans
it's
are
not good.
racist. Yeah,
Well,
racist, sexist fans.
let's see what happens with the new Disney princess movie, which stars, an animated black girl, right? And to me, I was even asking my sister, like, we were in the trailer, like, what is this movie even about? Like, I don't even know what this movie is about. Like,
In the trailer?
Yeah, it looks floppy
Was
to
it-
me.
Yeah,
And
floppy.
they're doing this thing where they're trying to make it look 2D, but it's 3D, and it just doesn't look as appealing. If you're gonna do 2D, just do 2D, kind of thing. Other than that, like, it just feels like here comes another flop. And if they use like, oh, you're just, you're sexist for not watching this or something.
Well, yeah, like all the Star Wars movies that didn't do well, they just called the fans racist and sexist. And then,
And
like,
we're the ones paying, so you keep calling us that. See what happens, right? I'm not gonna come see you anymore.
and they're losing, man. Disney's losing big time.
Yeah, that nerd guy I showed you, like, he had a really good video.
Nerdrotic, yeah.
The
Yeah,
message.
he does a lot of those. I actually watched one of his last night. I can't remember what it was talking about.
He had a good one with fucking Marvel. What is that?
Oh,
Secret
he was
Invasion?
talking about the secret.
Dude.
That's the one I watched.
And like fucking Samuel Jackson. Oh, I'm so fucking tired all the time. Like after like, don't you know who I am?
Yeah.
Nick Fury. Oh, fucking. Every man is weak, pathetic. Even
Slump.
Indiana Jones. I'm assuming he's the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, that was
look
the
at me,
biggest
I'm Indy.
complaint. Yeah, that was the
Look at
biggest
me, I'm
complaint.
Indy.
That Indiana Jones wasn't even like the
Indy.
competent person in the movie. It was his goddaughter or whatever.
Ugh. Yeah. Email Iron Man, shit like that. Oh,
Yeah. Ugh.
you know what it is, right?
Ugh.
Anyway,
you know.
and then I guess we're
Yeah,
talking about
it's a long video. We can take a break.
just when like, would you love me? Like when you find out she's a Skrull, would you love me even though I look like
Did you watch Secret Invasion?
No, I didn't even. I just wanted I didn't care.
I didn't care either. I just wanted to
I was
know.
like, this is how much I didn't care. I'll watch a YouTube video about it.
Talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like how much I don't even want to watch. But yeah, it's a part of, the message they're trying to show. And weak men, what's new, right? What's new in here?
What's
All right, back to the
all right.
film. All right, let's go. Let's rewind a little so I can see.
Okay.
Welcome back to the comments.
We've produced written articles, news articles. We've produced podcasts. We're the fifth largest podcast publisher in the world.
Andrew Huber
Beyond
gets
Daily
up on the
Wire,
top.
We've expanded into something we're calling Daily Wire Plus. And it's really a broader cultural entertainment play. We're making movies, we're making television shows, we're making kids entertainment, which I think is probably the most important fight we will ever take on.
There you go.
We've also started making some pretty awesome products that offer an alternative to woke companies and other industries as well.
Jeremy's Razors is a consumer goods alternative to companies like Gillette and Harry's Razors, who have all publicly embraced the LGBT agenda. And not just the LGBT agenda, the radical gender theory being pushed on children.
All right. Can we pause real
Daily Wire
quick?
Plus,
I got a
a
coffee.
million plus paying subscribers right
You got a
now.
what?
At
Oh,
Jeremy's
you got a
Razors,
drink?
we-
I got a coffee coming my way.
All right. Sounds good.
Be right back.
All right. Coffee,
right.
man.
Coffee.
Need a little pick me up.
That's make it, so she offered.
Oh,
and I figured I'd partake.
Partake, man. I'm partake. Oh, I was partaking. All right.
All right.
Back to the show.
Have sold over 100,000 Fraser subscriptions. I think all of that is because the half of the country that up until now has been divided by nothing. They've had no alternatives whatsoever, are eager and hungry to engage with those alternatives when they're presented, especially if we're not exploiting them, if we're actually providing value to them, then I think that there's enormous opportunity to succeed.
Hollywood going woke was pretty easy to see coming. But what happened next, no one expected. Sports went woke.
Sport. Trans and sports.
Oh, there it is.
See that guy standing while everyone else is kneeling? That's Jonathan Isaac. He plays for the Orlando Magic in the NBA. He also happened to be one of the few NBA players who publicly expressed discomfort with supporting the Black Lives Matter movement.
And he's black.
This all came to a head when the players on his team decided to collectively kneel during the national anthem. So he did
He's the
what he felt
only
was right.
one.
He stood up, man. Stood for his values.
Now, Jonathan is launching his own apparel company called Unite Us, in hopes of bringing people together over love of God and country.
Ah, you motherfucker.
Fucking ads.
Come to your fucking house and I know where you live. Motherfucker.
Unitas is a sports and apparel company, and the basis of it for me is freedom. You have companies that are in that field who have made a conscious decision to either attack or undermine Christian values, conservative values and things like that. And I think that they have the free choice to do so, as much as I disagree. But I feel that we also have a freedom to create what we want to create.
Left to right, show me what you moving like. Ooh, feeling right, keep it moving side to side.
Buy my clothes. Buy my clothes.
Across all
Yeah.
different sports.
Hey,
It's a creative
more power to them.
people who are in the sports world, moms and dads who want to buy their kids sneakers and clothes, but want to give their money to a company that they know is going to work towards bolstering their values.
Ooh, ready to go, up in the way, moving the tide, starting the way.
We can be proud of what we believe in. We don't have to hide or be ashamed of it. As the day continues to get, darker and darker and crazier, you standing up for what you believe in is only going to get harder, but it's only going to become more and more necessary.
Roll the dice. Oh, you wanna try?
The Rebel Alliance over here. Stand up to Darth Vader, brother. The woke Vader.
In sports. We all know the story. It felt like the flip of a switch. Like every company in America was suddenly spouting the woke orthodoxy, and anyone who disagreed with them was ousted, condemned, and silenced. A perfect example? Amanda Ensing.
People love to complain about the culture and the environment, but they don't do anything. We need to be creating our own verticals in our own industries where we're competing.
Oh, that Bella. Oh, that Bella.
This is Amanda Ensing. She's an entrepreneur, a beauty influencer, and a general badass boss lady. She started out beauty influencing with sponsorships from Sephora and other huge makeup brands. But when armchair critics started criticizing Amanda for stating her personal political beliefs, Sephora immediately canceled her sponsorships and went so far as to publicly condemn Amanda.
So for me, I was like, you know what? The beauty industry is in shambles. It only caters to one party, one set of views. Let's create my own brand.
Which is weird because, like,
Our first launch sold out.
even like
They
Michael
sold out.
Jordan
I
back
couldn't
in the
believe
day
it. I was just like,
didn't he talk about his political views because in his perspective, everybody buys shoes, Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah,
would
he
I?
said that
hate
in
it?
The Last Dance, right?
Yeah. Why would I? They buy shoes too.
Yep. They buy shoes, bro.
What? And just seeing how much women wanted this, I was like, wow. And I was scared. You know, it's terrifying putting your story out there. And when you get canceled, and with all of these people now coming for me, it's scary at first to take that first leap. But once you do, you just don't stop.
Take the leap, Miguel.
alternative to people not
Good thing I
creating
didn't edit
those
it. My
businesses
shit.
is way worse than if you would take that leap of
Small
faith.
steps.
Because I don't think a lot of people realize how willing Americans are to support you. Like, we are desperate for new brands and new companies.
You gotta keep expanding.
America needs alternatives. Oh, and if you haven't already guessed, every single one of the people we interviewed is a perfect example of not just what fighting back looks like, but what winning looks like. Beep, beep, beep.
Well, I'll give you one of the insights from my investing days. It's a famous quote from Warren Buffett. Be brave where others are fearful. There is an economic opportunity. I think it might be one of the biggest economic opportunities of the next decade to serve the 100 million plus Americans, okay, who are badly disaffected from the places where they work, where they shop, where they bank, where they invest. These are also, from an economic standpoint, some of the best customers that any business could want. That is an economic opportunity. It might be the economic opportunity of our generation.
Yeah, his campaign is
One
making
person
waves.
can't do everything.
Yeah.
But each person can look themselves in the mirror and ask, how am I going to have my own unique contributions? For me, it's in the financial institutions, in the asset management industry, and in capital markets. Somebody else might be starting a consumer products company. Somebody else might be starting a new university. Somebody else might be starting a new mode or new approach to entertainment. Each of us is making our own unique contributions. And I'm pretty optimistic that together, it's a mosaic that drives that change through true diversity, that dilutes the church of diversity.
The church of diversity.
Over the last few years, we've seen woke activists try to infiltrate every area of society: education, entertainment and media, sports,
She-Hulk.
business.
She-Hulk, dude.
And for many of us, that seems daunting. But talking with people like Vivek Ramaswamy, Mike Ferris, Jeremy Boring, Jonathan Isaac, and Amanda Ensing, we have proof that you can push back and make a cultural impact by providing alternatives. We know we're not going to change everybody's mind on these issues, and that's okay. The goal is to create a society where, even if nobody's mind changed, we can all live together in a pluralistic, prosperous, civil United States. And I want to invite you on that journey. No! Together, we can fight wokeism in academia, in the culture, in business. But it's not just about conservatives making alternatives for other conservatives. We need more people creating just flat out good products, media, education, you name it. We need alternatives that are good for society and good for America.
God
I'm
bless
ready
America.
to try. How about you?
I'm ready. Do it.
Ice cream's so good.
Thanks for watching this short
Yeah.
documentary. Corporate wokeism is
Why you gotta
plaguing
remind me how
America.
bad America is after? I was like, yeah, you know, we're going somewhere with this video, and then, oh, I'm an NPC. Oh, here I am.
No, I mean, like, in all honesty, yeah, I feel like, yeah, like there's a movement to try to
Unwoke.
unwoke, and like, people don't have to agree. We all don't have to have the same. That's the whole
Yeah.
point, right? You
But
don't have to have.
we allow other people to speak, but it seems like you don't want to hear these people speak, basically.
Yeah,
Right?
and you need to get over that and just realize that you're not gonna have everybody on the same side as you.
Yeah.
We should be able to talk civilly, disagree,
Yeah.
and ultimately we live together here in the same country. So
Yes.
get over it, you fuck.
Exactly. You don't want to be the screaming fucking lady meme, okay? No one wants to be this lady.
Like, did she
What does
realize
she
that
look
she was?
like? What's that guy? Had Oswald? Oswald? What the-
Oh, yeah. She does look like Oswald, which makes sense because he's pretty woke.
I am so sorry. To my world, I am so
I'm so
sorry.
sorry to my world.
She knew that she was being recorded, so she like playing it up for the camera.
There's so much potential
She seems like she's
Um,
mean it.
for beauty and for devastation. In this one moment, it's just almost incomprehensible that they can exist right now. It's so,
And we are grateful
so
to
close.
President Obama.
Dude, you want Pan Oswald to get back into the limelight? You just dress up that lady and you scream. Nah! I would totally watch that shit. If you recreated that shit.
My God.
Yeah, pretty good short doc. And
Yeah.
opened
it's
my
good.
eyes to possibilities. And I think because I don't know, sometimes you look at the media and it's like it's hard to feel like anyone else sees your point of view because it's never shown to you
Mhm.
unless your algorithm is nice to you and maybe like that Nerdrotic guy pops up and whatnot. But
Yeah, I mean,
few in
it's out
between.
there.
Not everyone's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and we're not the only ones that like feel like, hey, this is weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
What's happening?
But the more movies and the more like events that happen, I think people are just gonna be like, this is ridiculous. And actively like, what is going on?
Mhm.
And then they find sources like this or and oh, okay. I like what you're putting down here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Whoever
mean,
has the best thought wins, right? That's what
yeah,
Dave
and that's the
Chappelle
whole
said.
point. Like,
You can
yeah.
argue it, but if my argument is better, then I win. Basically.
Yeah, let the people decide, right? Who is on your side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of like the way this country is set up is that you're supposed to be able to discuss ideas, disagree, lobby for whatever you want, and vote, right?
Because you can't you can't just be like, oh, I think it should be like this, and then you automatically you're a bigot, you're racist or whatever, and you just like close off any dialogue without having to hear what that person has to think. Because
Well,
you don't
that's
want to
like, yeah, that was like I think one of Elon's biggest reasons for
Twitter.
buying Twitter because of what they were censoring, right? They were banning people and just taking their voice away from the platform, and then you're just hearing one side, and then it's just an echo chamber.
Yeah. Crazy. And all these like they're not gonna admit that that was happening, right? Has it been like we have files, right? Twitter files? Like is it out there that it was happening? Like it's
I mean, as
data.
far as I've
It's
as far as I've heard, yeah, I don't know what's happening, but I don't know. I'm not on Twitter, but like
yeah.
as far as I know, like he unbanned a bunch of people.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, when's the election? Because things are gonna be crazy, right? For the country.
Next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be interesting next year,
Mhm.
2024.
Well, I
right?
mean, it's heating up. I don't know if you've been like paying attention. Like, they indicted Trump on like the January 6th stuff,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
the,
good timing. Is it the
Well,
timing? Is it like it's meant to happen at this time to lead up to
yeah,
like,
and
presidency, right?
that's
why
like one
now
of
all of a sudden?
yeah. Actually, let me see if I can find a clip because that was one of like the biggest things that was like putting Vivek Ramaswamy on like the front lines because his stance on what's going on with that. Let's see.
You say pussy? Pussy.
I said
Let's see.
I said, let's see.
Let's see.
Pussy. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there we go. Like what he was saying, I don't know, it's pretty coherent.
It's another sad moment in our country's history. The 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, has yet again been indicted by the Biden DOJ a political party in power that is now repeatedly using police force to indict and arrest and potentially eliminate its political opponents.
Taking
from
him out of the race, basically.
This is a politicized prosecution. It is a political persecution through prosecution, now in a third indictment just in a matter of months against the person who is still at present the lead contender in the Republican primary for U.S. president. I want to be very clear. I am running for U.S. president in that same Republican primary. It would be easier for me if Donald Trump were eliminated from competition. That's not how I want to win. This is not about politics to me. This is about first principles. We do not want to become a country where the party in power is able to use banana republic-like tactics to eliminate its political opponents. Yet I'm sad to say that's exactly where we are. The allegations in this indictment,
Like, how many times have they indicted Trump
wrong and incorrect,
not
and
like
inaccurate,
right?
to place blame for what happened on January 6th at the feet of Donald Trump. I said this at the time. I've said it ever since then. I continue to say it today. I would not have made the same judgments that Donald Trump did in how he handled that day. But that's different from saying that he committed a crime. He did not. He specifically told the protesters that day to behave peacefully. The First Amendment in this country gives political protesters the ability to express themselves and their opinions freely. Donald Trump was not responsible for what happened on January 6th.
Too bad the YouTuber didn't say that.
I said this in the
which YouTuber?
days after January
The
6th,
riot,
2021,
New York.
just as I
Oh,
say it
yeah.
today.
Be peaceful,
Peaceful guys.
Systematic, pervasive censorship in this country. That was after a year where we had told people across this nation that you had to stay locked down in your house, in your basement, and shut up, sit down, do what you're
Basement.
told. If you question that, you're racist, you're anti-science. Your social media accounts were silenced. You had to
Yep.
stay home and lock down unless you were part of BLM or Antifa, in which case
And
it was
then you can
perfectly
go out.
fine to roam the streets of this country and burn many of them.
Preach.
So crazy.
That was the double standard. That
I remember
applied, and said
that.
if you said the
Mhm.
virus
Can you
originated in a
pause it real
lab
quick?
in Wuhan,
I
you were
remember
again a
people
racist and had your internet
like,
account.
oh yeah, go outside and you can protest, and if you get sick and stuff, yeah, good for you or something. I
Yeah, you
remember
were
like
allowed.
someone saying that, like being upset about this protest, but when Black Lives Matter happened, like no one talked about that,
Mhm.
and
And
like
even
COVID wasn't even an issue anymore.
even when like Biden got elected, people were going out and celebrating, and nobody was mad
No one
about
said
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. But it feels like it's because there's a set of press that all have to share the same narrative, and if you're not a part of the narrative, you're not a part of the press. You get kicked out. You don't get all the good stories.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, it's rigged.
It's rigged, man. We're fighting back.
Fighting back. Fight the power.
Accounts shut down.
But not too much
You were then
power.
told
Then
you
we're
had an
the
election
ones in
where you
power,
could
and then oh
express
shit.
yourself to put the right person in charge of fixing these problems, and instead, your accounts were suppressed if you sent a mere message saying that the Hunter Biden laptop story from the New York Post was real. You had your accounts locked. Even the New
Uh-oh.
York Post.
Yeah, and
had
look
its
at Hunter
own
Biden
account
now.
locked. And
Look
if
at
you
you.
repeatedly then tell
Well, I
people
mean,
they
like
cannot
he's
speak, that is when they scream.
on the verge
If
of
you
getting
repeatedly tell people they cannot scream,
charged
that is when
or
they tear
convicted.
things down. And
No,
I
yeah,
think we are
charged.
making a grave mistake in this country by trying to pin the blame for that at the feet of one man. If we refuse to learn our mistakes from our mistakes in the past, we are doomed to suffer an even worse fate in the future. I worry that will create a country where January 6, 2021 was a friendly parlay compared to what's actually to come. I'm running for president to make sure we don't march towards some kind of national divorce. But the first and most important step that
That'd be
we as
crazy.
candidates can take in this race
Half the
is to
country.
speak and speak forcefully
New America.
on the side of
New
principle,
America.
to say that even if we're competing against Donald Trump,
But see,
as
how
I
would that
am,
even work?
I
It
do
would
not
just
want
be
to see him eliminated from competition
Or
be
California
like
these
by itself.
politicized tactics.
just all the
It
states
is
break
wrong
apart.
for our country. It is wrong for our future. I call on my fellow candidates to condemn it, and I call on President Biden to do the right thing
and drop these politicized charges. That's going to be a first step towards uniting our country.
Interesting. I like what he's throwing down too.
Yeah, man. He's making waves. Oh.
He has to tickle my fancy a little bit more, but it's intriguing. It's intriguing.
Well, it's interesting because like when I think he first announced his candidacy, like he was polling at nothing, right? Nobody knew who the fuck he was. And now he's like jumped all the way to the 3rd spot behind Trump and DeSantis.
Why do you think that is?
Just like he's going on all these platforms like news and shit, and maybe I don't know if he's been on podcasts.
It'd be funny though if I put his name on our YouTube title. I think YouTube will like not
suppress.
Show up. Yeah,
suppress. I could see that. I can see that.
Because right now, like, bravo to us, we're getting like 100 views, 500 views in some episodes now. But if it goes to like back to like 10 people, no, I'm like, what's going on here? You know, like they don't want to show anything at all.
They're suppressing us.
I made fun of the meta jujitsu dummy that barely got any views, dude. It got 5 people to look at it.
What do you think that is?
Maybe it wasn't a good, funny thing, but I thought it was funny. But,
like,
shit, dude.
So like, it seems like different. We have like, it's not consistent as far as exposure.
Yeah,
like some things hit more than other things.
Sometimes you don't. And when I think which one was it? I put something negative in the title, and it didn't want to show it at all. And then I changed it to what forgot who it was.
I remember you telling me about this though.
Michael
hate.
Scott was
I think
right.
it was hate.
Yeah,
Hate or
I put hate on there.
Yeah,
and they did not want to show it to anyone.
Yeah.
Because I put the word hate.
I remember
And
that.
I was like, whoa. It's like, okay. But that's censoring, and I don't know. I think at least if you want to censor hate stuff, I can kind of get that hate speech and shit. But if you're censoring thumbs down, I want to know if people don't like it, like
Yeah,
the
right.
Ghostbusters and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
With Sonic, I think Sonic during that time had the thumbs down too, maybe. But I
It's
know,
before they got rid of the count.
yeah, because it was making waves.
Like if they're getting rid of the count, why even have the fucking thumbs down button?
Yeah,
It feels like pointless.
I don't know. So you can have control to feel like
Control.
you have.
Yeah,
I
but
don't like this. Click. You know?
it does nothing. It's like as far as censoring, remember when you were doing that joke on Facebook about hitting me with your car?
Oh my god, yeah, dude. I just made a joke about it was an office joke because Michael Scott hit Meredith with the car, I believe. And I think, or was
No,
it a
it
different
was
hit?
lost. It was lost.
Oh, it was lost. I made a reference that Desmond, brother, he went around trying to kill people to wake them up. So I gotta wake you up, Miguel, by hitting you with my car.
Yeah.
And Facebook registered as like I was threatening him,
Violence.
and
You're
I got
violence.
I got a warning.
Silence is violence.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, interesting times.
Yeah, it is interesting times.
Tables are turning. I like it. You know, for a second there, it got me worried. You know, just
What?
like during the 2020 days, like where we got like we couldn't speak. And stuff.
Well, see, I think like that was like that's the thing that got a lot of people to be like, "Hey, man, if we don't do something, this is gonna be our lives forever."
Yeah. When the whole Black Lives Matter thing and you know, on Instagram, everyone was like putting up black squares and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was like, "Whoa, this is like fucking like this." I didn't want to like really be a part because I don't really understand what they were like all
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
And to me, I'm like, "Hey, I'm not really involved in this movement, so I'm just gonna like not put anything."
And you know what they said to people that didn't put anything?
That you're
Silence
racist.
equals violence.
Yeah. So I felt that too. And I saw like so much people I know do it. And I'm just like, my goodness, like
Mhm.
it was like all of Instagram. At
Yeah.
that time, you would
Social
scroll, black,
social
black, black,
contagion. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ad for something, black, black,
Black,
black,
black,
black.
black, black, black. It's weird, right? Because then it makes it seem like all you can see is ads.
Yeah.
Because everybody has black squares.
Yeah. It was interesting. Just it was like a mind virus that just I mean, I get it because something tragic fucking just happened, right?
Yeah.
It shook the world. Just I think when people are stressed and they have, you know, something hard in their life, they make quick decisions and, you know, the way they think and things like that. I
Mhm.
don't blame them for everyone doing black squares, but I took a step back like, whoa,
Well, yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
really a part of this, but
yeah,
I
at
don't
the
condemn me for not doing it. And when I talk about vaccines and I don't want to, like kind of weird about it, I don't want to be
Mhm.
even like questioning the system, you know, just that
Yeah.
kind
It's yeah, it feels like we are turning a corner, which is promising because like yeah, I mean, how is that a democracy if you can't speak freely and you're afraid to
speak the
you
truth.
yeah, you're self-censoring and you can't say how you really feel. And
Yeah.
then you're just swept up by the mob.
Or you get silent messages. I agree with you, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Which people I mean, people do.
Yeah.
Some people are afraid to
Bravo.
say how they really feel. It's okay. We were, you know, even us, like on the podcast, we're like, oh, should we talk about this?
I know. Especially during Olympic days. You know,
Mhm.
I didn't even want to put some of the stuff I did I did it for the weightlifter,
Mhm.
but for the swimmer, it was like at its height, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to offend. I was actually self-censored where I
Mhm.
didn't put that person on the main thing because it was
Mm.
so heated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
But I mean, like, it's just that's where we're like at an impasse because, like, you know, people behind the whole trans movement are like trans women are women, period.
Mhm.
And I mean,
End of discussion.
I'm not saying that trans women can't be trans women, but like they can't you can't have them competing with
Well,
biological women
mhm.
and smashing all these records and be like, huh, you know,
Yeah.
it's all good
So,
here.
I mean, it should be like something, right? Where if you're biological, you can compete. If you choose to do that and you identify, it's cool. That's your life. But it it takes you out of certain things that you can't like do, like competition.
Mhm.
And maybe in the future there is a trans league or something, and good on you. But to have a fair competition, you'd have to be biological, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it time and time again. We've seen the like videos of the male runners versus the female runners.
Yeah.
I mean, like all this, and that's why like what's her name? J.K. Rowling is getting a lot of pushback because her stance is that she doesn't feel like trans rights should be infringing on women's rights. And that's her opinion. And people are
Do you
hating her
think
for her opinion.
do you think there'll be a, a twist, a tipping point where like, you know, people are like, "Oh, you're not as bad as I thought." And then she
Who?
walked like
J.K.
JK.
Rowling?
Like, you know, how everything's tipping. Has she gone too extreme where you don't think she can come back?
I mean, like, she is saying the same things that Dave Chappelle is saying. The
Yeah.
only difference is like,
She's
you
not a
know,
comedian.
yeah, Dave Chappelle's a comedian and he could give a fuck, right? But
Yeah.
like for JK, it's like, yeah, I mean, even people associated with Harry Potter are disavowing her, like Emma Watson
Yeah.
and shit.
That's so
Emma
weird.
Watson? Yeah, Emma Watson. And
You
it's
grew up
like,
reading her books, bitch.
yeah, and then look, you were even telling me the fucking Harry Potter game, right?
Yeah. The game, dude.
Yeah. I'm sure she's not down with that shit, but like
Yeah.
they have rights on her intellectual property, so
What I'd like to see is like, I don't know, something happens with the rights and someone like brings her back, but like, you know, she has like the fog machine coming and all of a sudden
Mhm.
she walks out. Dun, 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 dun. I'm back, bitches.
Yeah.
JK, JK in the house.
Yeah, I mean,
Next
I'm
to
sure.
JK Simmons, like have all the JKs next to each other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure like she still has a fan base because I'm sure not everybody is on
But
like
they're not being heard though, right?
yeah. All you're hearing is you're
Right.
you're a bigot.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no problem with JK when, you know, to be honest, she made a really good intellectual property, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, who cares about her personal thing? I mean, good thing George Lucas ain't talking. He's a quiet boy. Because if he said something and then they canceled Marvel, I mean, sorry, Marvel, Star Wars.
No, but then yeah, I mean Disney.
I mean, it's
owns
already
that
bought
shit.
out.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Disney's got that shit, and they're
But if
doing
he
whatever,
had it and
whatever the
he
fuck they
said
want
these
with
shit,
it.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Actually, I got this Bill Maher clip where he's talking about words and like the changing definitions. If you want to check it out,
I think I saw that.
you saw that one.
No, you can show it. Or did I hear someone else talk about the change? Oh, it was George Carlin, the soft language.
Yeah. Same kind of thing.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome, shell shock. You know.
Yeah. He's a liberal and he doesn't like Trump, but like,
But he's talking.
Yeah, he's not afraid to. Yeah, and that's
his truth.
We don't. Yeah, we don't have to agree politically, but hey, man, he's not with the whole woke shit.
Yeah,
and that's the good thing.
Don't you know
Like,
truth is subjective, man? Don't you know that?
don't you?
Now that we learned what wokeism was all about. Truth is subjective, man. Nice. I like it.
Newspeak, man. Gotta check out 1984.
Yeah.
I never read it.
I'm liking what Bill Maher is throwing down.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
I don't watch what he does, but I like his little 10-minute rants. It's
Yeah,
kinda cool.
his little monologues. Yeah, because we don't agree politically, but hey, man, he's not on the woke train, and he's talking out against the woke train for
and he doesn't like Trump, so
the
he's
classical.
still gonna go vote liberal and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's fine. But
I mean, but he's at least like telling it as it is and not
speaking out
being
against
scared.
the wokeness.
But you have to admit, he did have a huge platform before. You know, if you don't have a huge platform and you speak out, it's harder to your voice won't be heard. You can easily be canceled.
Well,
I don't know.
even if you have a huge platform,
Bill
you
Maher could be canceled if he said something just a tad too much.
No, at this point, I think, and now he started a podcast, so now I don't know if he runs that independently. He might.
So even if this shut down, podcast could be there.
Yeah,
And
I did watch an interview with him. He was interviewing Elon Musk, and he was talking about like it's great that Elon opened up Twitter where you can speak more freely, but it doesn't change the fact that I guess a lot of the woke mob is still on Twitter trying to cancel people. And I know, I guess it depends,
how do you
right?
how do you stop that if it's not really illegal to like gather together?
What Elon said was just ignore it. Just ignore it. And your company that you work for, HBO, needs to stand strong and not bow down to the woke mob. Just like how there was moves to pull Dave Chappelle's special off of Netflix, and the Netflix guy stood strong and was like, "Hey, if you guys don't like what we have on our content, you can leave. Yeah, you can leave."
Yeah,
it's as simple
freedom
as
of
that.
speech.
Yeah,
he has the freedom to speak as
Yeah.
long as he's not telling people to be violent or whatever ways you can't speak. I don't know. I always think about violence. What
Yeah.
else is there?
I think
Don't
inciting
talk about killing
violence.
yourself. Like, hey, kill yourself right now. Like, me saying this probably get us canceled.
I think as long as I think it's mostly violence. It's like as long as you're not.
I mean, the thing Trump is for is because they think he's promoting violence.
Yeah,
And
but
they're
we
trying to-
watched it ourselves. He said peacefully.
Yeah, but they edit
protest.
that shit out on all the
Yeah,
main
yeah.
shit, right?
Well, yeah, right. And then just like the whole Russian collusion thing. I mean, that was like the first thing that they brought up against him that didn't go anywhere, and then the documents, and now it's January 6th. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. Just the fact that they keep bringing up charges against him and then it doesn't go anywhere, doesn't it just like at a certain point?
Do you think it doesn't go anywhere because Trump has like the best lawyers and the money to like prevent that shit?
I mean, you could say that, but I mean, if the whole system is against him, like the justice system, the media, and all these establishment groups, you would think that they'd be able to get him on something if they're so against him. But the fact that, yeah, I mean, of course he's got the money to hire a good lawyer, but that just illustrates the fact that you can't deny that if they had actual evidence that could incriminate him, how come he hasn't been convicted of anything? And this is like this like started in 2017 when even while he was president, right? And it's been 6 years and still they're going after him for stuff and they still haven't been able to convict him of anything. I don't know. Like you would think, like, I don't care how good your lawyer is, they can't deny undeniable evidence, which it doesn't seem like there is undeniable evidence.
If you're being indicted, does that stop you from running? Like just because
No.
you're under like court or something?
No, he would have to be convicted.
Got it.
And then if he's convicted, then yeah,
So it's kind of like let's mess with this image right before the whole,
yeah,
election thing.
But see, like what a lot of people are saying now is that the more you're going after him, the more like people are emboldened to support him, and that's like why he's rising in the polls, because it's like they keep going after him.
That makes me want to vote for him because I'm tired of hearing you guys talk.
Like I said, I mean, they've been going after this guy for like 6 years and there's still nothing.
Do you think what's it called, the Trump train just got more because of how things are going and how the way Biden's running things? Like,
well, yeah, like I don't know anybody that
loves Biden.
I've been watching a lot of PED, and he had like Chris Cuomo on and Cenk Uygur, and they're both liberals and they both support Biden, but like none of them are like in love with Biden. It's just they hate Trump, and that's what you keep hearing. It's just people that hate Trump are not going to vote for Trump, and they'll vote for whoever they have, even though they don't like Biden and think Biden's incompetent. It's like he's not Trump.
So if Biden, who else is there in the other party?
RFK Jr., which
who's that?
Nobody wants. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's the other. He's, I think, second on the Democratic
Where'd
side.
you come from?
But see, like they don't want him either because of his stance on vaccines and stuff. They don't like that he's questioning vaccines.
Yeah.
Namely the COVID vaccine.
So yeah, you're not gonna get pharma money helping you out.
Definitely
right?
not. No, he's not.
Who's gonna get the pharma money? I mean, is pharma money still a thing? Like they still got a lot of money, right? Regardless of
yeah, definitely.
vaccines and shit. So
yeah.
I mean,
so it's kind of like, it's a little sad because like, RFK is saying a lot of things that like, alternative sources like, and he's got a decent amount of support, maybe like 20%, but he's not going to get the Democratic nomination. He's not going to get it.
Yeah.
So it's
and in the end, does it even matter what the general people think if like the electoral college, does the whole votes too? Do they listen to the people and like, okay, the people want this, let's vote that?
What they're supposed to do is like, you know, each state has a set number of electors, right? And then you have the election in your individual states, and they're supposed to look at the population's vote, who won the population in that state, and they're supposed to follow that and vote accordingly. But they don't have to.
It never goes that way. You think?
No, I mean traditionally
Is
they
there an
do.
example of a state that the people voted this and the guy's like, nah, I'm gonna vote
I
opposite?
don't know. Yeah, I've never heard of it, but the funny thing is that they are not bound to. They're not required to vote the way. But I've never heard. Not that I know of, that they've gone against the people's choice.
And is there a rule for all these representatives, like taking money or something like that? Like, oh, being swayed by some freebies. Hey, vote for me, you know?
No, I
I'll
think
set you free.
I've never heard of like electors because they're just regular people, or
Yeah.
they're not. Well, no, they're people that have certain positions, and I can't remember how they're selected. But like I said, I've never heard of like, hey, California voted for Biden, and then like some of the electors put their vote in for Trump or something. I don't think
Yeah.
that's ever,
Never
not that I've heard of. I think it's all the money that they give to the person's campaigns, where they
Yeah.
dominate the ads, right? They dominate the
Yeah.
news cycles, and their name is out there 50 times compared to somebody
And you
like
know,
10 times.
YouTube will be that way.
Yeah.
Showing ads
Yeah.
and
It's whoever has the money gets like the most coverage, right?
why is YouTube the only company that can like host videos and stuff? Like you would think there'd be a competitor by now, like, hey,
I mean, there are, but like
but they're not picking up steam yet.
YouTube, yeah, YouTube was the first one to the party. YouTube is like the Google of videos, which they're owned by Google.
MyTube
They've-
is next.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were the
watch
first
YouTube.
ones.
I watch
They're
MyTube.
they're the first ones to the party, so
Yeah.
they dominate the market.
Yeah, and they're bought out by one of the biggest company, Google,
Mhm,
right? So
yeah.
So
Yeah, there are alternatives out there. I think Rumble, but like
that's like a
who's-
YouTube, or is that like a?
I think it's a
what's
video. I think it's a video sharing platform. Yeah, because I think what's his name? Russell Brand. A lot of his content that he can't put on YouTube, he tells people to go check it out on
and
Rumble.
is it subscription based?
Yeah, it's subscription based.
That's where you
That's
lose
the
it, right?
thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Yep.
I think you need to make it free somehow and make money, add whatever, but also you need like a top person like a Joe Rogan. That's why everyone's on Spotify, right? No one gives a shit about Spotify for podcasts until
Mhm.
Joe came along, and then
Yeah, I mean, I still listen to most of my podcasts on Apple Podcasts, but the only one that I listen to on Spotify is Rogan.
Interesting. For
So
me,
it ha-
it's Spotify for Rogan, and maybe I'll watch it on YouTube, like if I want to see them talking face to face.
But they only have the clips on YouTube, right? They don't have the full.
It depends. It depends on, like Andrew Huberman has their full length podcasts on.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the person and what they.
But I
wanna
don't think, I don't think Rogan puts his full podcast on YouTube anymore.
do. No, not anymore.
Just clips.
Yeah. But interesting, man. An hour 40 of, at least hour 30 of just talking about woke America.
The world, man. It's like, it's undeniable. Like you look around and you're like, huh, wasn't like this like 10 years ago. I mean, that the birth of this podcast was like peak social change. Yeah.
But we didn't even, I mean, I guess we were kind of political because we were
Well,
talking
it was mainly about the fucking
vaccines.
lockdowns. Yeah.
Lockdowns and it was lockdown at first.
Yeah.
And then when the vaccine came out, then we jumped on that thing.
Yeah. Because it was crazy to think about. Like you had to show your card to get into places.
Yeah.
Like And people went along with
passport.
it. People went along
Vaccine
with it.
passport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Anywho, buddy, I gotta pee again, and I feel like
Okay.
grabbing a coffee because you had a coffee in your hand.
Okay.
Take a little break, and then we'll get back to it.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
All right, coffee boy.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about Barbie, did I ever watch with you like Ryan Gosling eating cereal before? Have you ever seen that meme?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So some guy thought it was fun to like try to feed Ryan Gosling, and
Oh, I think I have seen this.
you have? Oh,
That's
would you
okay.
like to did you
Yeah,
see
I haven't
that?
seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen
It's
it in a
like-
while too.
Like
But
a picture of him or something.
hold on. So he he just puts it was a Vine a long time ago, which is really interesting.
Oh yeah, and he like slaps it away or some shit.
Yeah. Eat your cereal.
With my wife and slept with her.
I love how it makes sense for some reason.
Yeah. It's positioned like, I don't want this cereal.
And we would have these days we just fought about. You think this is fun?
No, I don't want it.
Well, you know, for a month. We lived in a house. I mean, we didn't, not nighttime.
I guess he knows a lot.
Motorcycle, not a U-Haul truck. And he said, that's strange because
The last one looked kind of real. Like
Yeah.
you saw it, right?
It's good. It's good.
But I guess there's a video. Hold on, buddy. Don't play anything. Who are you? Stop it. Okay. I guess he finally eats his cereal. There. You want me to eat cereal? There. Are you happy?
So is that in response to that guy?
Yeah, because he's like, why is someone trying to feed me cereal?
That's funny. There you go. You happy?
That I think it came back. The people want to watch it because Ryan, you know, he's back in the spotlight.
It's back
Made
in-
me think of
Yeah.
it.
It seemed like, because like, did he kind of fall off a little bit?
I don't
'Cause he was
think
like
so. He was in that Gray Man in Netflix. That was a decent
Netflix.
movie.
Netflix.
Yeah. Well, did
But
you?
like,
What did you
I
think of
don't
the
know-
movie?
I never saw it.
Oh, it's decent. I mean, it's a Russo brothers movie,
Mhm,
but it's
mhm.
Netflix budget.
Yeah, yeah,
You can tell.
Mhm.
And Chris Evans did a really good bad guy. Like he plays like this really like evil but funny bad
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah,
And
I
I
saw
liked
the
it.
trailer. It looked good.
Yeah.
But I just never got around.
I think if it was theatrical and had more money, it could have been a really, really good movie.
Mhm.
But there's scenes where I'm like, ooh, that's like they use like smoke to like mask a lot of things. Like you know, like there's a smoke and then you hear sound effects and then they're all like
Mm.
on the ground. That kind
Yeah,
of shit.
ways to save on budget.
Yeah. But
I see.
decent movie. I wouldn't say it's a B movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually the case with the Netflix movies.
So I just have a video about BJJ to show you. But
Cool.
other than that, you want to talk about anything before I show you this?
No, I think I had a sparse list, so I think we talked about everything. Yeah.
Nice. All right. This video was pretty cool just because it showed the comparison between old school BJJ versus modern BJJ and how it evolved. And have you ever seen Stefan Kessling? He's like a white man with maybe a mustache these days. He does instructional BJJ videos. But he talks in this one, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Old school BJJ versus modern.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the most popular martial arts these days, but that wasn't always the case. Starting off as Kano's Jiu-Jitsu, it evolved over the years. But what changed over the span of a century? And how is BJJ different today compared to when it was first developed? To find out, I asked Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert Stefan Kesting to join me in watching 5 different BJJ videos, each from a different period, to see how BJJ evolved over the years, starting with this clip from 1912 of Kano's Jiu-Jitsu, aka Judo, the root martial art of BJJ.
If we stop here, this is really interesting. Just as soon as he lies all the way back. If you look at the distance between his hips and the other guy's head, so it's like 1.5 foot of distance, this exact armbar might work at white belt in judo or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. This particular armbar would never work at a higher level because there's too much room. And you see this a lot in systems that teach the armbar but don't spar the armbar. Either these guys are showing it wrong on purpose, or they never trained it against any kind of live resistance. I mean, the founder of judo, Tagoro Kano, didn't particularly like the groundwork. Very certainly biased his art towards the stand-up component. There were a bunch of people in the early Kodokan who did specialize in groundwork. These tended to be the fighters. Again, Americana, legitimate submission. In its core, it's the same technique.
That's your
I would
first
argue that in the
submission,
last
yeah?
30 years,
Americana.
how to make
Just
this
straightforward, right?
that has improved.
That reminds me of this argument that if BJJ would neglect rolling and sparring years down the road, probably would end up looking not necessarily like Aikido, but in that regard, where it's like it's not realistic, and you're like, I guess there's something behind it, but passed down from generation to generation without any pressure. You can see the technique somewhere deep down there, but it's just not practical. We then took a look at some old school footage of the most influential people in the birth of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracie family.
Early Gracie Jiu-Jitsu was very strongly influenced by judo. You can see it here. I mean, this is basically people going for foot sweeps, trying to do judo throws. The research that my friend Robert Drysdale has done suggests that there used to be much more even emphasis in jiu-jitsu between standing work and groundwork. This kind of rolling would not be out of place in academy today, because as soon as you add pressure to something, we're instinctively going to start doing very similar things to what these guys are doing. I would say that style of going for an armbar is a little bit old school. Most armbars from mount nowadays would be performed from the S mount, just because it leaves less room. The real question is, when the Gracies were teaching in this era, how much sparring there was for the student as opposed to the family members. It seems like sparring at the end of the day among family members was a common thing, but if you came in to do the series of lessons, there's certainly the class format that's common nowadays, 30 people and everyone rolls with everybody. That was unheard of in this day. It wasn't until Carlson and Hall's Gracie opened up their own academy that the modern jiu-jitsu class format was established.
Whoa, that's crazy. I never saw this before.
This is interesting. At the time, this was probably done like, what's the most spectacular thing that we can do? But variations of this technique done somewhat differently. The modern flying armbar is done somewhat differently, where you're going more underneath the guy. It's still dangerous. Strangely, it's not that unrealistic. Like, you see this, you go, that would never work. Then you go out and like, oh no, he pulled it off and he pulled it off. Just because it's fancy doesn't mean it doesn't work. I think at the time, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu was also really being promoted as a system of health and longevity. That hence the Gracie diet, hence the Carlos Gracie Sr. doing some calisthenics.
Our next video was footage from late 1980s of Helson Gracie.
Well,
Hey,
the
Helson!
video footage does look very late 80s. Let's see what the Jiu-Jitsu looks like. Standing up is
Oh, by the way,
effective way
like,
to break stubborn.
it's funny because I trained under his son, Holland, and I could see like the way Holland does jujitsu and his dad, like the way he passes and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
that's the shit he used to teach me in SF. It's like, wow, like
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
He'd be heavily influenced by his dad.
yeah. But it's just fun to see, like, wow, I can see like styles and jitsu when maybe when I was white belt, it's like it all looked the same, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Closed guard, and in this era, many schools really only taught the closed guard. I have friends who, when they started opening their guards to try and go to like butterfly guards, these old school schools in this era would get yelled at by the instructor.
Oh, wow.
Keep your guard closed. And now there's people who don't know one attack from closed guard.
You Blackula. Sorry, I had to say Blackula. Michael Scott. Blackula.
Basic pressure pass. Interestingly, not taught how the Gracie Academy, especially the
Yeah, he
Torch
always
Gracie
taught
Academy,
this.
taught it initially. They changed it to make it less vulnerable to the triangle. For a long time, the basic way to pass the guard that was taught was basically inviting people to do a triangle choke. And then the excuse would be, well, you got triangle choke, you didn't do every single step correctly. I would argue if a technique needs to be done perfectly for it to be successful, then I would argue there's something
A lot of
wrong with the
arrogance in the
technique.
beginning,
This
huh?
method of passing the guard is a one-arm under smash pass. You still see this exact technique done on the mats today. It's funny because there's so much variability in the expression of jiu-jitsu that if you had decent jiu-jitsu from the 1970s or 1980s, it would still work on the mats today. It might not be as efficient if you took the very best practitioner from the 1980s and brought him onto the mat today, stuck him into a world championship tournament. I doubt he would win because there's stuff that's come up now, like
New
in
stuff.
the case of the gi,
It's
the
changed,
lapel
right?
wrap around the leg
so
and
much
a 50-50
new.
leg position. That's really hard to break, even if you know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, it's the first time that you've encountered it, good luck.
It's like
That's
a 1950s car versus a car of today, like in a race, you know. Here, you want to race? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no competition.
a lot of troubleshooting on the fly. So if you took somebody who was really good in the 80s, their stuff would work, but they would need answers to the new stuff.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems that's one of the ways sometimes people win championships, or maybe not as much anymore, but somebody would come in and they would discover some new efficient way and nobody knows what's coming. And so it's
Twister.
easier to get people with that new method.
Eddie
But
Bravo.
then 2 years later, everybody does that. And then that does not win championships whatsoever anymore. But the new guy comes in with the new thing and then there goes the story again.
There was this magic, wonderful period where if you knew leg locks and the other guy didn't, you could tap them out. And it didn't matter if they were a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt who won a bunch of championships. And then they would get mad and then they would kill you with something else. But, you know, a blue belt could tap out a black belt. And I think those days are now gone because it's just become so much part of the meta. I think with
culture
the
now.
dissemination of YouTube now, you're not going to be like black belt world champion hoping to win the next year's black belt world championship and develop an entirely new game. People are going to be watching you.
Next up, I pulled up some clips.
Hell
from
was that? Was
early
that
2000s
jiu-jitsu?
of Eddie Bravo.
He just got
brought in
slammed
some
on his
changes to
fucking
BJJ.
So this is an interesting submission. The twister is a twisting spine lock. It's interesting for a couple of reasons. There are ancient Greek statues of people doing things that are quite similar to this, but different. You can say that this submission has existed for thousands of years, but certainly doing it with double triangle, or what the 10th Planet guys would call a lockdown on one of the legs to stop the lower body from rotating, that's a new innovation. While I might not agree with Eddie Bravo's politics or his interpretation of astrophysics, it's undeniable that the guy has contributed to jiu-jitsu. I don't
You mean
think
his
the rubber
conspiracy
guard, which Eddie
theories?
Bravo was known for, which he made work, I don't think that's really reached deep penetration or made big changes. You don't see many high-level guys doing it. It was supposed to revolutionize MMA, and it didn't. But his approach did have other contributions to the art. Okay, so this is interesting. This approach of getting one hook in, the low hook, or what he would call the twister hook, that did exist before. You see old school Sambo practitioners doing this. Catch wrestling and Sambo did have this in it, but in terms of popularizing it within the sport of jiu-jitsu, I have to give credit to Eddie Bravo for doing that.
And then we took a look at the biggest star of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu today, Gordon
Oh,
Ryan.
boy.
So this segment here,
Give me
where
that
he comes
crown.
out, pulls
Give it to me.
butterfly guard, starts threatening an arm drag, and working his way to the back, that is classic Marcelo Garcia, who is much smaller than Gordon Ryan, did a very successful run of 4 or 5 world championships, 4 or 5 Abu Dhabis, both in his division and in the open. Also one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Gordon Ryan has taken much of his guard work and the basic attacks from the guard from Marcelo Garcia with the addition of a detailed leg lock system. Marcelo Garcia did use leg locks, but I'll say Gordon Ryan's leg locks are more developed. When God was handing out empathy and being a decent human being, Gordon Ryan went back for a second dose of jiu-jitsu, and one of the things that he got was a very good leg lock system and has put in a tremendous amount of time. So what's interesting here is that especially in no-gi grappling, there's a couple of things that have come up in the last 10 years. One is that passing the guard on the feet is much, much more prevalent than passing the guard on the knees. Is this a temporary phase? Will guys figure out how to pass the guard on the knees again? I think so. This mixing of wrestling and jiu-jitsu is becoming much more common. It is driven in part by the rule systems of Abu Dhabi and whatnot, where pulling guard is penalized. So people are becoming better wrestlers.
Is the evolution of jiu-jitsu visible to you through those videos?
If you just saw the jiu-jitsu, you could have a reasonably good chance of placing it in an era. That being said, it's a very diverse sport. Some people might be playing with a style that's 30 years old. It's super fascinating to watch the evolution in the arms race. And the example I gave of jiu-jitsu on the knees, you get good at defending on the knees. Now there's an advantage to passing standing up. Now people get good at defending that, and people figure out how to apply leg locks against that. People go back down to the knees. What people did in the past, kept pressure testing, still works today, but there's new stuff today that needs to be taken into account. It's so complicated to keep track of it all. You're never in your personal game going to be able to include it all. You do have to be kind of aware
College
of
credit.
what's going on.
Learning about jiu-jitsu.
I think we're already seeing the divergence of gi and no-gi jiu-jitsu. Pretty soon we'll see that just because you're the best no-gi guy, you're going to get slaughtered in the gi.
Why do they keep showing that?
Isn't enough time in the day to train the two things.
Fuck.
And then furthermore,
Got
there's going to
rocked.
be different systems. Training for EBI is very different from training from the Abu Dhabi rule set. You may see more and more specialization, and with specialization and restriction comes creativity. And MMA grappling is very different from jiu-jitsu grappling now, for the most part. So that's actually three disciplines
Yeah,
that
'cause you gotta
that all used to be one.
gotta be defending against punches and elbows and kicks and shit.
Pretty cool video, right? Like kind of like the history, like seeing it like one after the other. It's like, wow, come a long
Mhm.
way. Take it for granted what we've learned.
Yeah.
If there was like a movie where like some, you know how they did it with the surfing, like, oh, the guy went back to the days of like Duke and he was surfing with him. You ever see that movie? I don't know if you ever saw it.
Which one?
There's a movie about Duke and some like white dude travels back in time. Oh, and meets Duke.
What?
And he surfs with him, and then somehow he goes back to his own time, and then just like, wow. And then they show the statue with the lays, and maybe they're at the restaurant. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I was thinking it'd be really cool if, like, you know, someone that has modern day jujitsu, like going back to like the days of the prime Hickson days, and like, you know, just rolling with people and like, whoa, he has all these new techniques. Oh,
Mhm.
Hickson, watch out for him. And then even though you know all these new techniques, this guy is like, it doesn't matter. I'm still better than you. Like that kind of story.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun to see. Yeah. In my opinion. at
Yeah.
least. But yeah.
No, yeah, it is interesting because it's constantly evolving, right?
Yeah.
Like they said, like nobody knew what the hell the buggy choke was, right? And so then that took jiu-jitsu by storm, and now people see it coming,
Keep
and
it. And they have answers for it now.
yeah. So that it's just a constant. It is. It's pushing innovation, and people are looking for new ways to do things,
Definitely.
and like people being more open to taking elements from other grappling arts and incorporating them into their jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows what it'll be in 5 years from now, right?
Yeah, because you've been training for
5
a
years.
while. Yeah. So like, have you noticed? I mean, other than
I think I came on the peak of like leg locks being like in the like everyone was starting to notice it more.
Mm.
And I came from a school that like, hey, don't do no-gi until you've done a year of regular jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
But now like schools like you're new, like, hey, you can come and learn heel hooks at any time you want.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of interesting how
Yeah.
how it just it's normalized. You know, at least for the gym I was at.
Mm-hmm.
style wise, it's too hard to tell because I was brand new, didn't know
Yeah, right.
anything.
Your
Yeah,
perception has changed, like you said. Like before, you not wouldn't necessarily be able to tell the differences,
yeah,
but now you have a more keen eye.
a little bit keen. Do you ever see
Little
that
keen.
that that picture of like the black belt like looking like there's like a wall and maybe the black belt's on top, like I see everything. The white belt's on the bottom. Huh, let me see if I can show that for you.
Was it not a wall, but like tiers?
No, it
Like
was
a
an
high.
actual wall that you're trying to look over.
Hmm. No, I don't think I've seen that.
Let's see. Give me 1 second while I look. I looked up jujitsu wall art, but they're showing like
It was a wall
walls.
art. Wall art.
Jujitsu wall meme. Maybe I'll do meme. No, that doesn't even show. Fuck! I wish I saw it. I want to show you. Jujitsu wall.
It's tough, right?
I see.
Where'd you see it in like on Instagram?
It was someone's post, yeah. So
Yeah, it sucks because then you can't find that shit.
all right, I'm gonna just do my best to describe it. Okay, so the white belt.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, where are you? I can't even see. Okay, the white belt. There's a wall. The white belt is trying to look over. He can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
The blue belt probably has like his hands on the
fingers
wall. Like the purple belt's
peeking
like
over.
I can kind of see what's going on. The brown belt like has his arms over looking, and then the black belt's like sitting on top, just like yeah, I
Seeing everything.
see everything. I wish I could show you the image, but you
I
can
can
see
imagine it.
in your
I can.
yeah.
Yeah, my mind's eye.
Yeah. But, yeah, fascinating. The jits changing, and yeah, we'll see where it goes and where we'll be when that time comes. Yeah.
So how's purple life going?
Well, I mean, has it been a month now?
It's been a couple of weeks at least.
I feel like the first couple of weeks I felt like, yeah, I feel it. Like I'm in this position. Today, maybe because I was tired and stuff, I
Got
was
put
like,
back
"Oh."
in your place.
I mean, I didn't like tap to anyone lower, but I think, a lot of black belts got me today. I'm like, fuck. So
Black belts. What
yeah.
do you want?
What I want, never
do
to
you
be
want?
tapped by them. That's what I want. That's how I know I'm a true jiu-jitsu practitioner.
You are
when
true. Get
a
the fuck
black
out of here.
when a black belt can't tap me, then I know it's working, right?
Even black belts get tapped by black belts.
That's true. That's when I'll feel like a black belt, when I'm tapping other black belts.
Mhm.
I feel like if all I'm doing is surviving with black belts, I don't think I'm a black belt.
Well, yeah, you're not there yet. You're a purple belt.
No, I'm saying even if I become a black belt, if I feel like I can't tap
Mm.
another,
You're
I'd
not a
have to
true
look in the
black belt
mirror.
yet.
I have to look in the mirror. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but it's like
That's just one person's truth,
I
right?
know.
'Cause truth
And
is
then
subjective.
at that time you're closer to purple than being like a seasoned black. I mean, closer to brown than being a seasoned black belt. Just
Yeah.
like how I like me settling into blue belt. Yeah, as a blue belt, I'm closer to white than I am purple. Because then I look at these other blue belts who have been blue belts for a year or two, and it's like these guys are closer to purple.
Yeah. So you're
And
always
like,
seeing progress, and you feel it's hard to determine what someone is in the same rank as you because they could
Mhm.
be at another higher level almost.
well, yeah, I can tell when I'm rolling with them. It's like these guys are like legit blue belts that are I could see getting to purple, but it also like it gives me kind of a sense of like being content with where I'm at because I'm like when I was a white belt, I think even though I didn't like admit it, like of course I didn't want to be. I wanted to move on.
Oh,
And
you mean like get promoted?
well, yeah, like that was always in the back of my head, like getting the
Promote, like,
stripes.
to show that like I'm in it. Like
Yeah.
because something about white belt, like even though you may be a good white belt, you're
Mhm.
still looked as
As a
if
white
you're new
as a
or
white
a
belt,
newbie,
yeah. Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I got some shit under my belt. I just need to prove it with the status symbol. Like,
Mhm,
I am
Mhm.
now a part of this, you know?
I mean, it's crazy how quickly it happens though, because like even with me, like
Your
now I'm
story was
like,
fast. Your
well,
white
yeah, yeah, but I just remember like I'm like reflecting back to my trial class, like my first trial class at Mono,
Yeah.
and like now I'm
I
like
can't
it's
do it.
crazy.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
Shaking.
it's only been what 10 months, and now I'm like there's new guys coming in, and I'm giving them pointers, and I'm like, man, 10 months ago, I was in their shoes, like, I didn't know anything, and now I'm like, "Hey, you remember he was showing it this way," or, like, giving them, like, pointers on when we're drilling, or if we're rolling, I'm like, "Hey, when you're on the bottom, try to stay off your back," and, you know, they're giving
Mm.
them pointers, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm not the new guy anymore."
I had that experience. Oh, well, it was more like I saw a new white belt come in,
Mhm.
and, like a younger kid or something, and I was like, how long you been training?" He's like, "Oh, 5 days." I was like, "It's cool, man. Like, keep it up, man. I've been doing it for 5 years, you know? Just
Yeah.
I was there where you were. Just you gotta keep showing up and
Mhm.
put in the work."
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Wow." Like, seeing his
Yeah.
face, "Wow."
It's so
You know?
funny. Yeah, cause like, the one dude I was giving pointers to, he's like, "Oh, how long you been training?" I'm like, "10 months."
Mm.
And then for him, it was like his first week. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you just keep coming, and you're gonna learn little by little, and it's just
Yeah.
like little drops in the bucket, and you'll pick up little things here and there. Just got to keep coming."
Mhm.
It's true, cause then like, yeah, 10 months ago, I didn't know shit, man.
Right? Little of it adds up.
Yeah.
I had, a new, white belt come in. His kids have been doing it for a while,
Mm.
and then I think watching it a whole bunch of times, and he decided, "Sure, why don't I learn what my kids are learning, right?"
Yeah.
And I have to admit, he's pretty good for a white belt. Like,
Mhm.
he comes in hot. Like, he's so pushy that, like, of course, that's I can use that to my advantage, right? All
Yeah,
the
yeah.
push that he's giving me,
Mhm,
especially
mhm.
stand up because he's, like, trying to push. It's like, "Oh," yeah, just a
Yeah, yeah.
little nudge in a direction, and then he's off balance. And
Mhm.
another thing he does is, he holds on to grips for too long. Like, when he's in if I'm, like, mounting him and stuff, he'll grab, like, my sleeves, and even
Mhm.
though, like, I bring it up like this, he doesn't wanna let go of my sleeve, so it's like, "Oh, you're allowing your arm to be like this for, like,
Mhm.
Americanas and
Yeah,
whatnot."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he also, like all I had to do was, like, move his arm like that, and then, like, now I'm in armbar position. Like, he doesn't know how to let so I had to teach him, like, "Hey, man, you can let go of grip, like, you don't have to, like, hold on to a grip for too long. Like,
Mhm.
it's okay to abandon what you're holding on."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, cause you don't yeah, like you said, that fence or that wall is a prime example. It's like the things you're not seeing as a new person, then slowly
Invisible
you
jitsu.
start yeah, you start to see things like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, gotta look out for this, gotta look out for that."
Yeah.
Or and then you see things opening up like, "Oh, this is right here open for the taking."
Yeah. And, I notice his breathing, like, "Hey, bro, you're" you know, when you're on the bottom, like,
Mhm.
he's like, it's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, bro, just take your time, breathe. You're gonna be down here for a little. When you sense, like, maybe a little opening, that's when you, like, burst. Like, you don't
Yeah.
wanna just go,
Mhm. Yeah.
'cause he's, like, fucking breathing hard, and I'm just, like, on him, just not even breathing. So but that's something you learn as a white belt, learn how to control your breathing and stuff like that. So it's kind of
Yeah.
fun to, like, share that knowledge where
Yeah.
it feels like I'm giving back to this thing that I learned, and
Yeah,
I
giving little
appreciate it.
pointers. Yeah, I mean, because then it it
Feels
it
good.
it also, like,
Feeds my ego.
I was gonna say feed your ego, but, like,
Call me master.
solidifies, like, your understanding, like, "Oh, yeah, I have this understanding of this thing."
Yeah. And you never really questioned it until you had to explain it to someone else. Like, "Oh, this
Mhm.
is what I kinda do, huh?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, there was couple new guys that came in, and we were doing positional drills
Yeah.
from like you escaping their mount, and then like I was getting out from his mount so easy. He's like, "Oh man, how'd you do that?" like, then I told him like, you're
Put your
posting.
knees.
Yeah,
Squeeze
you're
your knees
posted up
in, you know?
against the hip, and yeah, you're staying off your back. You're trying to turn to the side and finding an opening to get your legs out. He's like, it's a lot to tell somebody that's coming off the street, but it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind, like seeing new people come in. I'm like, okay, all right, I feel like a little more legit now.
Yeah.
Just seeing like, hey, all right, I'm not a brand new guy anymore.
It's awesome, man.
Which I shouldn't be. I'm a fucking blue belt.
You
so I
better.
better be a fucking blue belt.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I think once you obtain these things, you'll have days where you feel like, man, I'm not living up to this. But then the next day comes and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because do you ever notice like every podcast there's one, and then yeah, feeling good. Yeah. It's like it depends.
Yeah, but also like for me, like I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago where like in no-gi, a white belt like submitted me. I'm like, that's just a testament to he's improving as well. It's not that I'm deficient. Like, hey, he's training and he's improving, and he might not be a white belt much longer.
Yeah. And it may show where you're insufficient in.
Yeah,
You're
it's like okay, I'm open. Yeah,
I keep getting like my back taken in half guard. There has to be. I gotta find out a solution for this. Yeah, definitely. Filling up the gaps.
Plugging those holes.
Yeah.
Trying
Plugging
to
up them holes.
Trying to
Plugging up them holes.
But like, kind of to revisit what I was saying about like not wanting to be a white belt, and like it was kind of conflicted because like I wanted to move on from white, but I didn't want to move on too quickly and like getting the stripes, and then it was like a quest to get to blue, kind of. But
I
now
think
it's
that's
like
how it is when you're white, right? Like that's the first thing.
Mhm.
For me, it was like I wanted purple, but I was also like scared of what that meant for me.
Yeah, the implications, right?
And then it's like, oh, I've been saying I want purple this whole time. Like, here it is. Like,
yeah,
it's a little nerve wracking. Like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
You know? And what I don't. I mean, you have a what you think a purple belt is in your head, and are you living up to that? And things like that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm like content. I'm like, all right, I'm like happy with blue because I know that I'm gonna be a blue for a few years, and there's something freeing about not having to worry about like trying to chase after that belt and like just being like focused on, hey, I'm just trying to get better at jiu-jitsu.
That's good, man.
Like the pressure is kind of off. Like, hey, I know that there's a minimum. I'll have to be a blue belt for at least 2 years. So it's like, hey, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. But do you feel like because it's farther out in the distance and not like how it was with your white belt where you felt like the progressions happen quick? If it's too far and life gets in the way with like family and whatever, then it's like so distant that you're not really thinking about that anymore. I mean, maybe you're still doing jiu-jitsu, but yeah. What do you think of that?
All right, so I did notice like I also think it's the timing, right? Like, so I got my blue belt after Naga, and like you came to train like a month after to visit, and like that I feel like that first month I was pretty like consistent, and then like you coming to visit and me going on vacation kind of took me out of my rhythm.
Yeah.
And then like ever since coming back, I've been going at least once a week. Most actually the last few weeks it's only been once a week. But it's like
but your schedule changed too, right? Has the schedule changed?
not yet.
Okay.
But it's like almost like because of other things in my life coming up, and then it was
Your
harder
goal is
to,
not there like how it was with Blue Belt. It's
yeah.
so further out that you can take your time and not have like it be your main focus these
Yeah,
days.
it's kind of taking the pressure off, but then like I also still kind of feel guilty, like, huh, like there have been days where I should have gone and I haven't gone
And you make
because I
yourself
was just
feel
like,
bad.
I made
Is it like
excuses.
in the moment it feels good to miss,
Mhm.
but
And then as soon as the time comes and it's like, fuck.
or you look at the time and you're like, fuck, class would be starting right now.
Yeah,
Fuck, I
yeah,
should
yeah,
have
yeah.
went. Or even the
Yeah.
next day. Or if you see Instagram, well, I don't know your coach's Instagram, your
It's
school.
sparse, not too.
But for me, if I see like, oh, look how everyone had fun and
I should have been
fuck,
there.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's been occasions where it's like in the moment I'm like, I look for any little excuse. I'm not gonna go. And then
Yeah.
when the time passes that I could have gone, I'm like,
Fuck.
fuck. And then I end up working out at home
Yeah.
because I'm like,
Like
yeah, you fuck.
fucking lazy. Oh, not
Yeah.
too lazy. Let me put some dumbbells.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But
I've had days
now
like that too.
yeah, now I'm kind of like, I mean, it's not going anywhere. I may not have the same like focus right now, but it's like it's a marathon. It really
Yeah,
is. So
definitely.
like trying to learn to like, all right, stop making lame excuses because soon I
The
will
baby
have
is not a lame excuse, but
yeah,
it,
I'm gonna have legit excuses. So,
yeah.
but also being okay with having legit excuses and be like, hey, I can't go as much as I used to go, but it's okay.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, jujitsu doesn't have to be the focus.
No.
It can be your fun hobby to get you out of the house and see like-minded individuals that want to learn. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
end of the
mean,
day, yeah.
I mean, if jujitsu is your goal, like, what are you trying to get? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Getting the black belt? Like, what does that do for you once you get it? Like, you're gonna be the
Mhm.
same person.
Mhm.
Maybe you teach a class or something, but
Yeah, yeah.
like, it's only one aspect of your life. You have to be a good father. You have to be good at your work and whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
one aspect.
It is. So like, yeah, I'm coming to terms with like, it's fun. I enjoy it. Every time I go to class and finish with class, I'm like super happy and glad that I went. So it's just like,
And you have phases.
yeah.
Because right now, for me, like, I haven't been like outside of jujitsu. I normally go for like runs or do hit things.
Mhm.
The last 2 weeks, there's a lot of family things, and I've been a little lazier. But I
Mhm.
can see how it's impacting my jitsu. Like, fuck, like,
Mhm.
cardio. But now because I feel fat and like, fuck, I gotta move. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, this is the phase where I'm getting back into it. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
ebbs and flows, brother.
yeah,
Ebbs
it's
and
the same
flows.
thing. Like along with not like neglecting, well, along with the neglecting of jiu-jitsu when I was like on vacation and stuff. Yeah, I wasn't working out like I used to work out. I'm like, oh, packed on a couple pounds here.
Did you lift anything? Oh crap. I should say this. Did you squeeze anything? Like shit.
Well, yeah, I'm like, oh, belly's sticking out a little more. Jump on a
Yeah.
scale. Well, yeah, I did put on a couple pounds.
Yeah. And the world doesn't see like I went to Hawaii. Of course I want to work out because I'm gonna take pictures and show it to the world. Right
Mhm.
now, would you like to see my belly? It's kinda you hear that? I'm not gonna show my belly.
Like you
But
said,
just
ebbs and
imagine
flows.
it's not
Yeah,
abs-centric over here. But
yeah, ebbs and flows, man.
yeah.
Ebbs and flows. That's
And
life.
what? Fucking holidays are coming up. Ooh, here we
I
go.
know. Fucking A.
You think you're fat now.
Yeah, right.
Wait till the holidays come.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, like I'm enjoying the ride, and like yeah, I'm looking forward. I am planning to try to compete next year. Like
Cool, man.
yeah, after the
By that time,
holidays.
you'll be a year in being blue. You'll feel like you'll have a lot more under your belt.
Mhm.
And regardless of how many classes you do, I'm sure like you think of jujitsu at least outside of class, and maybe you look at some videos and
I do. I do.
so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and that's how I'll be. Like, if I sign up for a competition and I'm gonna compete, then maybe my training will be a little more. Well, it
Yeah.
would be a little more. Otherwise, why the? I'm not gonna be able to compete.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Right now, like people are asking, "Oh, you're gonna compete?" I'm like, "Well, like
Dude, I just got purple.
I'm not feeling confident in myself, to be honest, to like go out there.
Mhm.
I know I'll probably have to like lose a whole bunch of time as purple just to like be okay with where I'm at. But
Mhm.
um, actually, my focus right now is I'm working my way up to doing this deep end fitness thing.
What is
I don't know
that?
if I ever talked about that with you.
Mm-mm.
Here, let me just show you their Instagram. It's like underwater fitness kind of thing.
Hmm.
My instructor's doing it and a whole bunch of people, and I was like, oh man, like I love being in the water. I'm from Hawaii. Like I love going under and diving and like snorkeling stuff.
Mhm.
So it's basically trying to help you um under like being calm with being underwater, like controlling your breathing and stuff. And I just wanted to challenge myself other than like doing the standard jits.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Let's see if I can show you a video. They do all sorts. It's like a 2-hour session. So it's a good workout, brother.
Oh, I
Good
feel like I
ass.
saw this. I saw Instagram stuff on this.
Yeah. So they do this torpedo thing underwater. Just one. It's like fucking grappling underwater.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm taking this because I want to learn how to be calm under pressure, especially when I can't fucking breathe. Because
Mhm.
underwater you can't get any oxygen, right?
Mhm.
Let's see if I can find a good video to show you.
Yeah, I saw people like doing like weighted leapfrogs.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of like, you know, put your dumb like walk underneath in the water.
Mhm.
Holy shit, that's loud. Sorry. Different shit like this. I just want to test myself outside of jits a little.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I've been like taking a long time because they've been doing this for a while. And it's yeah,
Mhm.
I'll do it. And it's been like months, and I'm like, okay, I said I was gonna do it. I better like
Yeah. Well,
try
whatever
to
happened to rock climbing? Gave up on rock climbing.
uh I honestly haven't pursued it. Hey, I could say whatever,
I know. I'm just fucking
Yeah.
with you, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, this is my next venture that I think I want to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I bought the goggles. Now I just have to show up for the class.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll let you know when and if I do that. But I bought the goggles, so it's not a if. It's just a
Yeah.
when.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
I don't have any. Yeah. Here now, I'm telling Miguel I better do it because fuck.
Whatever happened to
I'm
deep end?
shaking. I'm shaking. I can't do it. I always think of you telling me outside
Dude,
of
it's
monitor.
true, dude. Like, that happened to me twice. I even forgot that it happened to me twice. Like the mono, and then like when I went to in 2018, like, oh, I don't have it anymore. Oh, I'm glad I got over that hump.
That's too funny, man.
It was funny, like, this past Thursday in Nogi, I was, going with, one of the black belts, and,
Yeah.
we were doing the class was focused on stand-up, and he's like, "Did you used to wrestle?" I'm like, "I did. I did."
You bastard.
He's like, "Well, cause yeah, with the stand-up, like, I guess collar ties and arm drags and certain I don't know, I guess certain things that I do." He's like, "You were a wrestler, weren't you?"
This motherfucker. All right, I'm showing you a video from one of the people that do jujitsu in my school.
Okay.
And he had a really cool video about the deep end.
Hey guys, my name is Jay, and today we're going to review Deep End Fitness. It's a new underwater training program over here in Houston, Texas, headed by Coach Lauren Murphy and Diego Jaime. Today in this class, I am accompanied by a couple of badasses. First off, we got Professor Joe Murphy, we've got Ari Cobb, Brian, and Chris. So we start off the class by doing a burpee breathing ladder. And this consists of having a limited amount of breathing per burpee that you do. And the goal of this exercise is to be able to control our breathing despite having an increased heart rate. The next section of the class is a learning period. And we spend the next 45 minutes to an hour learning fundamental techniques to swimming. So this is really great for people who don't know how to swim, and people who do know how to swim. It's a great refresher. Followed by this, we have the workout of the day, or the WOD. Once the workout of the day was finished, we played Underwater Torpedo League, which in of itself was an insane workout. We wrapped up the class by going in a circle, talking about what we improved on, what we would like to improve on in the future, and what we liked about the class. I highly recommend trying this class out if you're looking to find a way to improve your ability to react under heavy stress. Hey guys, my name is Jay, and today we're going to review
heavy stress. How to react under heavy stress.
That makes sense. Yeah, like underwater, can't breathe, but you gotta stay calm. Yeah, right.
What I'm feared is if I do that torpedo thing and I need to breathe, and someone's holding me down.
Yeah,
and they're not paying attention to my tapping or something.
Is there a safe word?
Bubbles coming out of my mouth. But I'm sure, like, you know, they have not like lifeguard, but there's people watching, making sure their students aren't.
I would think so. Yeah, especially if you're new, right?
Yeah. But
it's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, something I want to do. Did I tell you that I rolled with Lauren Murphy? I don't know if you know who Lauren Murphy is. She's a UFC fighter.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, she's like, oh, you're Nate, right? Because apparently, like, I'm a good training partner, and she's like, oh, everyone's telling me I should roll with you. You're a good training partner. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Oh, and I'm like, okay. And she's about to have like a submission fight happening soon, and we're rolling, and it was a pretty good roll, but she caught me in a triangle, and it was no-gi, so I was like trying to pull my arm out like really fast, kind of thing. And I felt so bad because when I pulled it, like she kind of like her body went up, and like I don't know, her neck kind of got she went ah! And I was like, oh. And I felt so bad because everyone's telling me I'm such a good rolling partner, and then here I come and I hurt Lauren Murphy's neck, and I'm like, oh shit, she has a fight coming up. What if I hurt her and
oh my God,
she got her fight canceled?
It's like, I don't know what those people were talking about.
I was like, oh my God, I felt so guilty because I don't know, I didn't feel like I did anything harder than I normally do, but I was thinking, she's a UFC fighter. We can go a little harder, right?
Yeah. She ain't soft.
I felt really bad. She's like, ah! Like, it wasn't a tap. It was like, ah! And I was like, holy fuck, are you okay?
Yeah.
And she was, and I was like, oh my God, dude.
Nate.
She's gonna like, fuck this guy now.
Yeah, it's like, good training partner. Bullshit.
I mean, we were talking in a group at the end. She seemed like she was
okay.
She was okay, and she was talking to me, smiling. So it wasn't like, just fuck her, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's good at hiding it. But
oops.
I felt like shit, man.
Yeah.
Because like before, like I heard you're a good training partner, and I hurt you, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Like, good training partner.
Training my ass.
Yeah.
Anywho, buddy, it's about that time.
Yeah.
I know you got to head out. Why don't you tell the people where they can find us and whatnot?
All right, people. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and listen to us wherever you do for podcasts.
Until next time.
Peace. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Ta-ta. So we're doing peace and then see ya. Because I was doing see ya and then peace.
I can't keep track anymore.
I can't keep track. We say the same shit every time.
And I can't remember. It doesn't stick with me.
Good podcast.
Yeah, dude.
Went by quick. I'm gonna plead my case. That's my meme with Miguel. I'm gonna plead my case. No one wants to hear your case, Miguel.
I mean, we did watch. We did end up watching Little Mermaid.
We didn't even fucking talk
I
about
know.
it, dude.
I know.
Well, do you want to talk about it real quick?
Yeah,
Because
real
we're not gonna
quick.
talk for 3 weeks,
Yeah,
brother.
I
Alright.
can give you a quick. It was what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I mean, I saw a Neurotic about Little Mermaid.
yeah,
and
diversity casting. I mean, we knew this.
Yeah.
We knew this.
the male was you know, he's probably a pushover male or some shit.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I mean, just like I feel like I have the same take on all these live action ones. It just makes
It's
me want to
shit.
go. Yeah, it makes me just want to go watch the animated one.
I mean,
they're telling-
Flounder, Sebastian, they look like shit as
They-
real life people.
Yeah, I don't want to see a real
Aquafina
fish
as that bird.
scuttle. Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay. And then I think in the end of Little Mermaid, what's the guy, Prince Charming guy? What's his name? Eric? Prince
Prince
Eric?
Eric. Yeah.
He you know, saves the day and he
In
puts
the animated one.
in the
the
boat.
animated-
He puts the boat in the
Yeah,
but in
the
this
animated one.
modern age, like females don't need to get saved by men anymore.
Mhm.
You learned that from Frozen.
It was actually the opposite. She saved him.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it because story-wise, it does make sense. It's just like she's the main character. She was taken advantage of by Ursula, so I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. It was
So
just
it's
like
more visual. Like I hear it's so much longer than the actual original movie too.
yeah, it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, it was
And I heard it's
it-
a dark, like not dark, like
The-
animated dark, like
visually
visually dark.
the ocean scenes are dark, so you can't really see what's going on. But then like the daytime ones are so like animated. But the CG honestly wasn't as bad as I've heard it was to be. I wasn't like it wasn't as bad as like what I saw in Doctor Strange 2.
Hmm.
So I can let that slide. I don't know, it just was just all the things surrounding it and the casting and I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite.
I mean, can we safely say that none of the live actions we care about, right?
Yeah, I
don't
mean, like all of
So-
them. Aladdin. I don't know. I'd never finished Lion King,
I think it's just to make old IP relevant again. So they
and make changes, right? Like gloss over things.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Haunted Mansion. You said you were watching Haunted Man. How was that one?
We not talk about it the last one? I thought we did.
No,
talk-
because I think you saw it right after the podcast.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even get
Yeah.
to talk about it. I mean,
No.
let's see. The cast was fine. I mean, Danny DeVito was so Danny. I didn't really sense too much agenda-y things.
Yeah, it was
just a movie that like was full of itself. That's all.
Hmm.
In my opinion.
It's like, do we need another Haunted Mansion? Didn't they do the Eddie
I
Murphy
get-
one already?
Yeah. I get if like I don't know. You're trying to get people to go to the parks to experience this ride. Just like Jungle
Mhm.
Cruise.
Yeah, same thing.
But-
Pirates of the Caribbean.
They struck gold with that one. I
They
don't know.
did. That was a phenomenal.
That one was like, there we go. I like this. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think they had the intent to make everything live action at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Just felt like an ad for the park.
yeah, I mean the era there's New Orleans and I guess everything seemed in place. I mean, I did notice that it is a lot of like teasing. There was some parts of teasing white people kind of
Mm.
thing, like a Karen joke or something.
What else is new?
My name is Karen too. Like, okay,
What
because he's
else
like a
is new?
tour guide guy, and he's showing them the tour about New Orleans,
Mm.
but everyone there is like wanted to hear about ghost stories. For some reason, he's like, I don't want to hear about it. There's no ghosts. So that's why he goes to the haunted mansion, because someone's paying him to do photography on ghosts, and he's like, oh, they didn't give me money. So he went in there thinking there's no ghosts, and
Yeah.
woo, like, yeah. Little did he know. So it was fine.
Yeah.
Just it's forgettable. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it seemed like from the trailers. I'm like, doesn't seem like anything special.
Was it better than Barbie? No.
You enjoyed Barbie more.
Yeah. I mean, I laughed in that too, right? But I'm thinking
Mhm.
about like a story structure that is a little bit better. I mean, just a little.
Yeah. Cool.
It ain't no Christopher Nolan. I don't know how Oppenheimer is doing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
No one's talking about that.
No, so it must not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must have had the big opening weekend and maybe kind of fell off.
Yeah. Bring back high concept Nolan, right?
Yeah.
Bring some of that back.
Yeah.
Or is it too hard to do high concepts these days? Because not even Black Mirror wants to do high concept.
I know.
What's going on here?
They've given up.
Anywho, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
I guess I'll see you. I will see you when I see you. 3 weeks or so.
Yep.
Don't be a stranger, though.
I won't. You don't either.
Text me whenever, brother.
All right, brother.
I would say, hey, let's play some games, but you're a daddy now. You don't have time for little games.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you haven't touched the PlayStation in a while, huh?
The only time I touch it is to
Clean it.
watch The Office.
Oh, put your Blu-rays in.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
right, buddy.
right, my friend.
Toodaloo.
Toodles.
You horny fuck. Get out of here.
Oh man.
Speaking of horny fucks, how you doing?
Ice cream
Ooh,
so
I rolled
good.
it.
Popping the fucking shit.
Ooh, coffee. Ooh, coffee. Ooh, coffee.
Water. Ice cream
Oh.
so good.
Ooh. I
Glug,
love
glug,
pickles.
glug, glug,
Ooh, I love
glug, glug,
pickles.
glug, glug, glug.
I love pickles.
Glug, 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 glug.